Chapter 502. Curse shit. Run. Don't worry, I'll deal with this beast, Yang Hongwu said coldly. As he said that, a golden dragon flew out from his body. After an earth-shattering dragon roar, the golden dragon opened its mouth and bit at the life and death nether beast. Dragon soul, and a high-grade dragon soul at that. How do you have it? The life and death nether beast screamed when it saw the golden dragon soul. Oomph, you know fear too? Weren't you very arrogant just now? Yang Hongwu snorted. The dragon soul bared its fangs and claws and rushed forward aggressively. It was unstoppable. Under the pressure of the dragon soul, the life and death nether beast kept running away. It didn't even have the courage to fight back. It was like a mouse that saw a cat. However, the dragon soul was extremely fast. Coupled with its natural suppression, how could it escape? Before it could reach the door, it was bitten by the dragon soul. Crack! Crack! Bite after bite, the dragon soul crushed the bones of the life and death nether beast. Ah! The life and death nether beast screamed. Every time it ate a piece of the life and death nether beast meat, Yang Hongwu could feel the dragon's soul growing stronger. The energy of the life and death nether beast was terrifying. The dragon soul kept growing stronger, and Ing Xiao Rui's strength kept increasing. Such majestic energy I've broken through, Ing Xiao Rui said to Yang Hongwu. At this time, she was overjoyed. Her cultivation had broken through crazily, and she had reached level 1 God Realm. It was simply too shocking. How long had it been? And her strength had reached level 1 God Realm. One had to know that she was just a strand of combat true spirit. An existence that had left the original body had grown to such an extent. It was simply unbelievable. I can feel the existence of the original body, Ing Xiao Rui suddenly said. The moment Yang Hongwu heard, he opened his eyes wide and said, "You aren't joking, right?" True body. She actually felt the existence of the true body. This was too shocking for Yang Hongwu. To him, this was not a good thing. If her original body wanted to do something, take her back, or use her to deal with him, wouldn't that be terrible? You don't have to worry. I can sense that true body's current condition isn't very good. She's in danger, Ing Xiaorui said. I see. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. She was in danger. Ing Xiaorui's true body was at least at the Reverend Realm. She might have even reached an even higher level. To think that she was still in danger. This was not a good thing. Where's your true body? Ancient region or heaven region? If it was heaven region, then Yang Hongwu didn't need to worry for the time being. However, if it was ancient region, then he had to consider whether he should go and find her true body or not. In fact, Yang Hongwu wasn't particularly worried. Even if her true body wanted to attack him, Yang Hongwu wasn't afraid. He had a lot of trump cards. Moreover, Ing Xiaorui had signed a contract with him. Without his consent, she couldn't cancel it. Of course, that was unless her true body had reached the great sovereign realm. In other words, if she could use Ing Xiaorui's true spirit to influence him, then why couldn't he use Ing Xiaorui to control her? Of course, it couldn't be better if they could mutually benefit each other. Thinking about it, if he could find her true body, then she would understand. You damned human, do you want to devour me completely? At this time, Yang Hongwu's dragon soul had devoured a lot of the life and death nether beast's energy. One of its legs had been completely devoured. At this moment, it was constantly struggling, but it was useless. There was no way to resist. The dragon soul was its nemesis. It didn't resist, only begging for mercy. If it wanted to live, then it could only beg for mercy. Let me go. I am willing to become your soul beast. The life and death nether beast shouted. A soul beast was, in fact, similar to a battle spirit. For Yang Hongwu, there was no need at all. He already had a battle spirit. With Ing Xiaorui as his battle spirit, there was no need for the life and death nether beast. Moreover, if he wanted to cancel the contract with Ing Xiaorui and sign a contract with the life and death nether beast, it wouldn't be easy. For Yang Hongwu, although the life and death nether beast was stronger and more powerful than Ing Xiaorui, there was still a gap between a battle pet and a battle beast. There is no need. Yang Hongwu sneered. Your greatest use is to become pure energy, allowing my strength to break through. Yang Hongwu wasn't moved at all. The dragon's soul accelerated the devouring speed. Dragon's soul swallows the heavens. Yang Hongwu shouted. The dragon's soul let out a loud dragon roar, opened its huge mouth, and swallowed the life and death nether beast body. Damned human, I curse you. I curse you to die a horrible death. I curse you to have no descendants. I curse you to never reincarnate. The life and death nether beast continued to curse. Humph, you still want to curse me? Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. He did not care about this. However, at this moment, Yang Hongwu discovered that a black mark had appeared in his Yuan spirit. This is the curse of the life and death nether beast, the life and death nether curse. At this time, Sherbauer, who was in Yang Hongwu's spiritual abode, said, This is a curse left behind by the life and death nether beast with its own life force. Even a great emperor can't remove this curse. Yang Hongwu was anxious when he heard this. Are you kidding? Even a great emperor can't remove this curse? Of course not. If you don't believe me, you could try it yourself, Sherbauer said coldly. How will this curse harm me? Yang Hongwu asked. It will corrode your spirit until you fall into the demonic path, Sherbauer said. Fall into the demonic path. Yang Hongwu's hair stood on end when he heard this. Falling into the demonic path meant losing one's own nature, losing one's mind, and becoming a demon. This wasn't something Yang Hongwu wanted to see. Is there any way to remove this curse? Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. Since Sherbauer had heard of this curse, there should be a way to remove it. He looked at Sherbauer with burning eyes. There is, but it's useless to tell you. That thing doesn't exist in the ancient domain unless you enter the heavenly domain. Moreover, it's the most terrifying and dangerous place in the heavenly domain. Even a great emperor would face a life and death trial if they enter that place. Sherbauer's voice trembled when he mentioned that place. Yang Hongwu swallowed his saliva. It seemed like Sherbauer had entered that place before. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such an expression and tone. To Yang Hongwu, this time, he was really unlucky. Consider me unlucky. The dragon soul had devoured the life and death nether beast and turned it into pure energy that entered Yang Hongwu's body. Chapter 503. Gathering at the place of inheritance after killing the life and death nether beast, a portal appeared on the last level of the stairway to the underworld. More information appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. This information was related to the teleportation gate. This portal led to the highest level, the place where the Lotus Emperor's inheritance was located, which was the 9th level of the life and death tower. Let's go in. Yang Hongwu looked at the group and said, Will there be any danger in this portal? Yishui was a little worried. She had never entered this teleportation gate before. Moreover, it was rumored that those who entered this teleportation gate had never returned. No one knew if they were alive or dead. The unknown always made people worried and suspicious. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, It's fine. This portal leads to the 9th level of the Life and Death Tower and the Lotus Grand Emperor's Inheritance Hall. There's no danger. Hua Qinshui and the others naturally believed in Yang Hongwu. Yishui hesitated but did not refute. After all, the life and death nether beast was killed by him. Such strength, no, such luck, was incomparable to ordinary people. No wonder he was the person in the prophecy. Moreover, logically speaking, she should believe in him. We have to go. However, your injuries have not fully recovered. Everyone has not reached their peak condition. I think we should rest for a while and fully recover before going up. Hua Wuying said. Thinking about it, it made sense. Yang Hongwu had just experienced an earth-shattering battle and hadn't completely adjusted himself. His own cultivation base hadn't been completely consolidated either. It was indeed a bit risky to enter a higher level now and face an even greater challenge. Recovering first was indeed the right choice. Yang Hongwu nodded and said, All right, let's rest for a day. After a day, we will enter the portal and go to the place of inheritance. Yang Hongwu did not think that only the few of them had the chance to enter the place of inheritance. Since the inheritance had truly opened, they were not the only ones who could enter the place of inheritance. There must be others who could enter the inheritance hall. From the information of the life and death nether beast, Yang Hanwu knew that the entire life and death tower was divided into several spaces and passages. This passageway was only one of them. There were a total of 4 paths that led to the final land of inheritance. Of course, there was only one person who could obtain the inheritance. Those who passed through the 4 passageways and entered the land of inheritance would also receive certain rewards. However, according to the results of the test, the rewards obtained would also be different. The higher the difficulty of the challenge, the better the pass, and the higher the reward. To Yang Hanwu, the rewards he obtained from the battle on the stairway to hell weren't much, but he was very depressed. He was cursed, and this curse couldn't be removed. Even the emperor couldn't do anything about it. He was way too unlucky. Not only did he fail to reap any benefits, he even got himself into trouble. Of course, along the way, the True Dragon Armor, True Dragon Zither, and True Dragon Blade were all great benefits. If he could obtain the complete set of the True Dragon Suit, it would be a great harvest. However, he did not know if there were other parts in the Inheritance Hall. Apart from the True Dragon Armor, the True Dragon Zither, and the True Dragon Blade, how many other parts were there? A day later, Yang Hanwu and the others entered the portal. When they opened their eyes again, what appeared before them was a huge palace. This was a huge palace, and it was extremely majestic. There were pavilions, terraces, and pavilions everywhere, and richly ornamented. There were lotuses blooming everywhere, and there were huge lotus seats. On each of the lotus seats, there were all sorts of rare treasures. Below those lotus seats, there were countless strange beasts guarding them. These strange beasts were very terrifying. Although their eyes were closed, their powerful auras were exposed. If anyone approached, these strange beasts would probably wake up immediately and tear anyone who came close to them to shreds. In the middle, the highest lotus seat was a 7-colored lotus seat. That 7-colored lotus seat was sacred and noble. There was a human figure in the center of the lotus platform. His face could not be seen clearly, and he seemed to be in a trance. He was surrounded by 7-colored divine light, which made people unable to see him clearly. It made people involuntarily want to kneel down and worship him. Yang Hangu quickly regained his senses. So what if it was the emperor? He couldn't kneel down. He couldn't kneel down to heaven and earth, but only to his parents. However, for Yang Hangu, in this world, if his parents weren't here, heaven and earth wouldn't kneel down. No one was worthy of him kneeling down. Wong. In the next moment, rays of light flashed. The portal kept flashing. More and more figures appeared. Yang Hanwu looked over. These people were the ones who entered the Lotus Secret Realm and the Life and Death Tower. Of course, there were some that he hadn't seen before, and they were probably newcomers. Kunlun Immortal Abode, Tai Xianfu, Tianyi Immortal Abode, and Si God Immortal Abode. There were more people from the 4 immortal abodes. Gao Qingqing saw the people from Tianyi Immortal Abode. It was Long Yun and the others. Of course, Long Yun was no longer the leader. Beside Long Yun stood an arrogant purple-robed man. The purple-robed man's cultivation was much higher than Long Yun's. He had already entered the divine realm. Long Yun saw Gao Qingqing at this moment, and so did the man in the purple robe beside him. Junior sister Qingqing, luckily you guys are fine. When a man saw Gao Qingqing, a smile hung on his face. His tone was still arrogant as he said to Gao Qingqing, "Come over. With me here, no one will dare to touch you guys." Who is this guy? Yang Hangu was unhappy when he saw how arrogant this guy was, and how he didn't put him in his eyes at all. Especially the way this guy looked at Hua, Qin Shue, and the others made Yang Hangu even more uncomfortable. He's Tian Xinjiu, one of the 5 strongest saint sons in Tianyi Immortal Abode. He's ranked 5th, and he's arrogant. He uses his cultivation base to bully others. Gao Qingqing ignored Tian Xinjiu and said to Yang Hangu. Yang Hangu squinted his eyes. Tian Xinjiu. This name was really domineering. However, people with domineering names usually didn't live for long. This was especially true for those who spoke and acted arrogantly, as if they were the only ones in the world. They usually died very quickly. Their tone and character were so arrogant, but if they didn't have absolute strength, they would only be courting death. I won't go over. Thank you for your kindness, senior brother. Gao Qingqing replied. She didn't even look at Tian Xinjiao. This made Tian Xinjiao very unhappy. Chapter 504. The first saintess of Sea God Immortal Mansion. Who are you calling a shady person? Gao Qingqing was displeased when she heard that. She angrily asked, what does it have to do with you who I'm with? Yang Hongwu was also displeased. How did he become a shady person? Let me tell you, Tian Xinjiao, you don't have to care about my matters. You're not related to me. Stop talking nonsense here. Gao Qingqing said impolitely. Tian Xinjiao's face turned green and red when he heard that. Long Yun was also stunned. He did not expect Gao Qingqing to say that to Tian Xinjiao. One must know that Tian Xinjiao was one of the 5 great holy sons of Tianyi Immortal Mansion. He possessed absolute strength and status. Even in Tianyi Immortal Mansion, some elders had to give him face. Gao Qingqing's words were no different from slapping his face. With Tian Xinjiao's vengeful character, it would be troublesome. In fact, Long Yun was also displeased with Tian Xinjiao. However, it was all thanks to Tian Xinjiao's help that they were able to enter this place. Well said. Some people are always full of themselves. When Zhou Tianxin was about to speak, a voice came from afar. This person was from Sea God Immortal Mansion. Her name was Hai Qingqing. She was the first saintess of Sea God Immortal Mansion. She was very powerful, even stronger than Zhou Tianxin. Hai Qingqing, Tian Xinjiao coldly said, this is an internal matter of my Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Don't interfere. Speaking of which, Tian Xinjiao had once pursued Hai Qingqing. However, Hai Qingqing did not like him at all and ignored him. Tian Xinjiao was shameless. However, he was ruthlessly taught a lesson by Hai Qingqing, causing Tian Xinjiao to lose all his face. Later on, Tian Xinjiao worked hard to cultivate, and his strength reached another level. Only then did he catch up to Hai Qingqing. He wanted to regain his face, but his strength was still lacking. I like it. Moreover, Sister Qingqing and I are fated. If you want to bully Sister Qingqing, I won't allow it. Hai Qingqing's figure flashed and arrived beside Gao Qingqing. She said to Gao Qingqing, Sister Qingqing, if anyone dares to bully you, ask me for help. I'll beat them up. Thank you, Sister Hai. Hearing this, Gao Qingqing was very happy. Being able to obtain the help of such a strong expert was a very good thing. Moreover, she also had a good impression of Hai Qingqing. No need to thank me. You have Qingqing in your name, and I also have Qingqing. We are fated. Hai Qingqing held Gao Qingqing's hand and said, who are they? Hai Qingqing looked at Yang Hongwu and the others. When she saw Yi Shui-er, her pupil shrank. She couldn't see through Yi Shui-er's strength. How could she not be surprised? She believed that her strength was the strongest among those who had entered the Lotus Secret Realm because the other 3 Immortal Mansions and other sects' younger generation members who were stronger than her had not come. This woman didn't look much older than her, but she couldn't see through her strength. It was really rare. She also felt a powerful aura from Yang Hongwu. This reminded her of an important task that her master had given her in the Lotus Secret Realm. She had to find the 9 Heavens Mysterious Een Tower. The 9 Heavens Mysterious Een Tower and the Divine Lotus Ancestral Seal were very important. Although she didn't know whether the 9 Heavens Mysterious Een Tower was an Emperor weapon or a Supreme Great Immortal weapon, this Immortal Tower was very important to the entire Ancient Domain. All the experts in the Ancient Domain, including the 4 Immortal Mansions and the 10 Great Clans, wanted to obtain this Immortal Tower. After entering the Lotus Secret Realm and asking around, only the man in front of her and the others with Gao Qingqing made her feel unfamiliar. She had never heard of them before. However, their strength was so strong. Therefore, she guessed that these people might be related to the 9 Heavens Mysterious Een Tower. Or, one of them must have the 9 Heavens Mysterious Een Tower. This is Yang Hongwu, a disciple of Tianyi Immortal Mansion. This is Hua Wuying, Hua Qinxue, Yi Shui-er, Hong Qiao, Qian Erling, Qian Xiong, and Tu Zhen. Gao Qingqing introduced them enthusiastically. Hello. Yang Hongwu looked at Hai Qingqing and said, You're the saintess of Sea God's immortal mansion. Do you know Hai Yuqiong? Since they were all from Sea God's immortal mansion, and Hai Yuqiong had already gone to Sea God's immortal mansion, he would also go there when the time came. Not only Sea God's immortal mansion, but he would also go to Heavenly Pill Sect, Hundred Flower Sect, and other sects to find Zhang Xiushuang, Hu Xiu and the others. Hai Yuqiong and Zi Xintong should have gone to Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Yang Hongwu didn't ask Gao Qingqing, but he guessed that Gao Qingqing didn't know either. Tian Shunjiu might know, but he had already fallen out with him, so asking him was pointless. You know junior sister Yuqiong? Hai Qingqing looked at Yang Hongwu. She didn't expect Yang Hongwu to know her master's youngest disciple. Yang Hongwu nodded and said, We came up from ancient desolate continent together, so that's how it is. Since you know junior sister Yuqiong, we're family. There's no need to be polite. If you want to know anything, just ask. Hai Qingqing was even happier. With Hai Yuqiong's relationship, it was even better. Oh right, I remember now. Junior sister Yuqiong is always in a daze by herself. Is it because of you? Hai Qingqing's master was very strict with her disciples' relationships. Therefore, if Hai Yuqiong had someone in her heart, she definitely wouldn't say it out loud. But how could Hai Qingqing not know? Hai Yuqiong had just entered the sect, and her cultivation had been helped by Hai Qingqing. Yang Hongwu was stumped by this straightforward question, and he looked a bit embarrassed. Good brat. Yuqiong is my junior sister. She's deeply doted on by my master. Also, my master plans to make junior sister Yuqiong a legacy disciple. She can't marry. If my master finds out, you'll be miserable, said Hai Qingqing. Well, I don't have that kind of relationship with Yuqiong. Yang Hongwu shook his head. You really are a heartless fellow. Junior sister Yuqiong can't forget you. She doesn't even want to eat or drink. Is that what you think? Hai Qingqing said unhappily. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. This matter couldn't be forced. Let's not talk about this anymore. I'm relieved to hear that Yuqiong is fine. You couldn't reason with a woman. Furthermore, looking at Hai Qingqing's domineering appearance, he knew that she wasn't a woman who was easy to get along with. Are you done? Tian Xinjiu felt even more uncomfortable. He looked at Gao Qingqing and said coldly, Junior sister, don't forget what your master said to you before. Chapter 505. The sacred lotus ancestral seal appeared. You what? What? Are you planning to attack me? Gao Qingqing was not afraid of Tian Xinjiu at all. Even though he was strong, her status in the Tianyi immortal abode was higher than his. You'll regret it, Tian Xinjiu harumphed coldly and looked at Yang Hongwu. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He was even targeting him. Yang Hongwu looked at this guy. Judging from his gaze, he did not care at all. There were many people who had a grudge against him. He was not the only one. He had even killed the skeleton reverend. Why would he be afraid of him? At this moment, another ray of light flashed and a group of people appeared. This person arrived not far away from Yang Hongwu. He looked at Yang Hongwu and said, Kid, who are you? I can sense the aura of the three pure ones from you. Yang Hongwu was startled. This person looked very similar to one of the people he had killed. Lin Quan. Yes, it was Lin Quan. Lin Quan was from the Kunlun immortal abode. He had obtained the secret technique of the three pure ones from killing Lin Quan. He did not expect him to be able to tell that he had cultivated the secret technique of the three pure ones. What three pure ones? I don't understand. Yang Hongwu looked at him and said, You can't deny it. I've also cultivated the secret technique of the three pure ones. Furthermore, your cultivation is not orthodox. Therefore, your primordial spirit is in a mess. The person said coldly, The secret technique of the three pure ones can only be cultivated by the orthodox disciples of the Kunlun immortal abode. Even though you've cultivated it, you don't have the support of the three pure ones. It's not orthodox. If you continue to cultivate it, you'll suffer from chi deviation and your primordial spirit will explode. Yang Hongwu did not know if this was true or not. However, he could not let his guard down. Even though Yang Hongwu was never worried that he would encounter any problems in his cultivation, he still had to be careful. Lin Tianyo, what do you mean? Hai Qingqing narrowed her eyes and said, Junior brother Yang came from the lower realms, from the ancient desolate continent. He's from the first sky, immortal manor. So how could he cultivate your Kunlun immortal manor's one chi into 3 pure ones? The secret technique of the Kunlun immortal abode is a secret technique. How could junior brother Yang cultivate it? Are you here to cause trouble? Hai Qingqing stood out, her eyes as sharp as a blade. Let's try it out. This kid has indeed cultivated the one chi into 3 pure ones. Lin Tianyong said to Yang Hanwu, if you want to live, you can join the Kunlun Immortal Mansion and come back with me to meet my master. I can ask my master to accept you as his disciple. You have practiced the chi of 3 pure ones to such a level without any guidance. Even I couldn't do it back then. If you can get the chi of 3 pure ones, your strength will be enhanced to a higher level. Then you can really practice the chi of 3 pure ones and even become a candidate for the leadership of the Kunlun Immortal Mansion. Don't believe him. This guy is not a good person, Hai Qingqing said to Yang Hanwu. Joining the Kunlun Immortal Abode is better than joining the Sea God Immortal Abode. If you join the Sea God Immortal Abode, I will help you solve the problem between you and junior sister Yiqion. You should think it through. Lin Tianyong wasn't worried at all. He treated Hai Qingqing's words as if they didn't exist. He said to Yang Hongwu, you only have 2 choices. One is to join the Kunlun Immortal Abode. The other is to be hunted down by the Kunlun Immortal Abode and become an enemy of the Kunlun Immortal Abode. What a joke. So what if it's the Kunlun Immortal Abode? Why would the Sea God Immortal Abode be afraid? Junior brother Yang, you don't have to be afraid of this guy. If you join the Sea God Immortal Abode, you don't have to be afraid of the Kunlun Immortal Abode. Among the 4 great immortal abode, the Kunlun Immortal Abode is only ranked 3rd. Hai Qingqing said disdainfully, in the Sea God Immortal Abode, it's not the Kunlun Immortal Abode's turn to behave atrociously. If the Sea God Immortal Abode is ranked 2nd and the Kunlun Immortal Abode is ranked 3rd, then who is ranked 1st? Tianite Immortal Abode? Yang Hongwu asked curiously. In the lower realm, the Tianite Immortal Abode was ranked 1st. However, the Tai Xianfu was ranked 2nd. He didn't expect that the Tianite Immortal Abode wasn't ranked 2nd in the ancient domain. The Tai Xianfu is ranked 1st. The Tianite Immortal Abode is ranked 4th. However, the difference in strength isn't that big. If they really fight, they'll be evenly matched. However, in the ranking competition of the 4 great immortal abode, the Tai Xianfu has been ranked 1st for the past 2 years. Therefore, the Tai Xianfu is ranked 1st. Therefore, the Tai Xianfu is ranked 1st. Hai Qingqing explained. Boom! With a loud sound, the surroundings were sealed. All the stone doors were closed. The entire hall was sealed. There was no way out. Suddenly, everyone started to worry. What's going on? The exit is sealed. No, I won't go out. Everyone started to panic. All the passages in the hall were sealed. The stone doors that sealed the passage couldn't be opened at all. There was a great emperor's restriction on the door. Without the strength of a great emperor, it was impossible to break the restriction. What's going on? Why are all the passages closed? God, are they trying to trap us to death? Could this be a conspiracy? In an instant, the entire hall was filled with people from all the major forces. Countless people were worried and anxious. Yang Hongwu was calm. It wasn't too difficult to leave this place. Now, the real inheritance test was about to begin. However, Yang Hongwu was curious about what the test was about. At the center of the hall, on the 7-colored lotus platform, a figure moved slowly and spoke. Congratulations on entering my inheritance hall. Everyone here is qualified to obtain my inheritance. A voice said. The voice was very majestic. However, there was no way to tell if it was a man or a woman. The face couldn't be seen clearly either. It was hazy. Lotus Emperor? That's right. I'm the Lotus Great Emperor. Of course, I'm not the real Lotus Great Emperor. I'm just a strand of my true spirit here. My strength isn't even 1/10,000th of the Lotus Great Emperor's true body, but it's enough to deal with you guys. In fact, I won't do anything to you guys. The reason why I left this secret realm behind is to find a successor. I've been waiting for this successor for countless years. Today, one of you will be born. Whoever obtains my inheritance can obtain my sacred lotus ancestral seal in this life and death pagoda. The crowd was extremely excited after hearing this. Chapter 506. Battle for Fortune. It's actually very easy to obtain my inheritance. Of course, it's also not easy. Lotus Emperor said. Everyone was stunned. What a contradiction. May I ask, Great Empress, how can I obtain your inheritance? Tian Xinjiu took a step forward and asked the Lotus Empress. That's simple. Do you see that door? The Lotus Emperor pointed at a portal not far away and said, as long as you enter that portal, you will know whether you can obtain my inheritance or not. However, I have to tell you in advance that once you enter that portal, your life and death will be up to fate. You mean to say that it's dangerous to enter the teleportation gate? Another person asked. Of course. Do you think it's that easy to obtain my inheritance? Lotus Emperor said, if it's that easy, then it's too cheap. The fact that you're able to enter this place proves that you're strong. However, whether you can obtain my inheritance or not depends not only on your strength, but also on your fortune. Once you enter that portal, it depends on your fortune. If you're unlucky, you'll die without a burial place. If you're lucky, you'll obtain my inheritance and countless treasures. You have time to choose. However, you don't have much time. 30 breaths. Within 30 breaths, you must make a choice. Those who don't enter the portal will be sent out. Sister Wuing, let's go. Yang Hongwu said to Hua Wuing. Let's go together. Hua Qinshu nodded. Together with Yang Hongwu, they walked towards the portal. Everyone was shocked. Even Hai Qingqing and Gao Qingqing were stunned. As for Hong Qiao, she naturally followed Yang Hongwu. Thousand Years Ling, Thousand Years Bear, and Tu Zhen didn't hesitate at all. To them, Yang Hongwu was their future, their young noble, their master. Wherever he went, they would follow. You guys don't go first. Yang Hongwu hesitated for a moment and said. Yang Hongwu believed his own luck. As for Hua Wuing, he didn't have to worry either. She was a descendant of the Hua family and possessed the sacred lotus bloodline. The inheritance of the Lotus Emperor would most likely fall on her. We can enter your true dragon armor's small world, Hong Qiao said. Not bad. Young master, you can't leave us behind, the Thousand Years Bear said. Yes, we'll definitely follow you, young sir. Wherever you go, we'll go. Qian Er's voice was clear as she nodded her head. This is too dangerous. I'm worried about your safety. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. This is the inheritance of the great emperor. The means of the great emperor are not something we can contend against. A mere true dragon armor is probably nothing in the eyes of the great emperor. If he really wants to destroy this small world, it will be a simple matter. How about this? I'll go in alone. I can feel that something behind the teleportation portal is attracting me, Hua Wuing said. No, I can't let you take the risk alone, Yang Hongwu said. Didn't you say that I'm a descendant of the Hua family and have the sacred lotus vision? So, I'll be fine, Hua Wuing said. You guys can just wait here. If something happens to me, it won't be too late for you to come in. This is still not suitable. Yang Hongwu shook his head. After all, Yang Hongwu was worried about Hua Wuing going alone. Let me go in with Wu Ying. I'm also a descendant of the Hua family. My strength has improved tremendously. With the teleport talisman you gave me, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Even if I can't win, I can still escape if I encounter danger, Hua Qinshu said to Yang Hongwu. As soon as she finished speaking, she saw Hua Wuing enter the portal alone. The second one to approach was Hua Qinshu. However, when Hua Qinshu approached, something unexpected happened. Hua Qinshu simply had no way to enter the portal. She was directly blocked outside. What's going on? Why can't I enter? Hua Qinshu was confused. She looked at the teleportation portal and then at the Lotus Emperor. You don't have to go in. The Lotus Emperor flicked his finger and a ray of light entered between her eyebrows. Hua Qinshu entered a special state. She was protected by a layer of light. After a while, she opened her eyes and bowed to the Lotus Emperor. Then, she said, Thank you, Emperor. No need. This is what you deserve. You're a descendant of the Hua family. For so many years, I haven't taken care of the Hua family. I hope you can help the Hua family in the future." The Lotus Emperor waved his hand. Hearing those words, the others present all felt extremely jealous. He didn't know what she had obtained, but no matter what it was very precious and very powerful. It was given to him by a great emperor. As a great emperor, a supreme great emperor, how could something given to him be simple? Therefore, they all looked at Hua Qinxue. They were scheming in their hearts. They couldn't do anything to her here and snatch the great emperor's things. But when they got out, it would be a good opportunity. "You guys wait here. I'll go in." At this moment, Yang Hongwu said to Hua Qinxue, Hong Qiao, and the others. Seeing Hua Qinxue's situation, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried anymore. Hua Qinxue had the bloodline of the Hua family and was also the descendant of the Lotus Emperor. With the Lotus Emperor here, no one would dare to do anything to her unless they wanted to die. With Hua Qinxue taking care of Hong Qiao and the others, Yang Hongwu could rest assured. Of course, there was also Yi Shuer. Her strength was absolutely powerful. No one present could contend against her. Unless Tian Xinjiu and the others joined forces, it wouldn't be possible. Without any worries, Yang Hongwu was naturally more relieved. They could boldly enter the teleportation gate and see what the Lotus Emperor had placed in the space behind the teleportation gate. What kind of treasures were there? After saying that, Yang Hongwu took a step forward and entered the teleportation gate. Hong Qiao and the others wanted to enter. But like Hua Qinxue, they were blocked by the light gate. "I'll go and try." Seeing Yang Hongwu enter, Tian Xinjiu also entered. Following him were Gao Qingqing and Hai Qingqing. There was also Lin Tianyong. All of them were arrogant people. They were the saint sons of the 4 great immortal mansions. They were high and mighty and believed that their luck was unparalleled. They were the children of luck of the entire ancient domain. Since it was a competition of luck, how could they be weak? If they didn't have luck, how could they have grown to such a level? How could they have their current cultivation base, their current status? Therefore, they weren't worried. All of them entered the teleportation gate. Those who didn't have enough aptitude and talent were all blocked. "You all can leave now." With a wave of the Lotus Grand Emperor's hand, those who couldn't enter the teleportation array were blocked, or those who didn't dare to enter were teleported away. Chapter 507. Bridge of Fortune. After Yang Hongwu entered the portal, he appeared on a riverbank. The riverbank was filled with boiling magma. This magma was filled with destructive power. Once someone fell into it, they would definitely die without a burial ground. Even if Yang Hongwu had the 9 dragons' sacred body, he wasn't sure he could survive. Not far away was Hua Wuying. "Sister Wuying," Yang Hongwu shouted. "It's you, Yang Hongwu. Why are you here?" Hua Wuying was shocked when she saw Yang Hongwu. Then, she was pleasantly surprised. She did not expect Yang Hongwu to come in. Yang Hongwu nodded. "It's me. I was worried that you would be in danger alone. It's better if there are 2 of us. We can take care of each other." "Where's Sister Shui?" Hua Wuying asked. She couldn't come in. The portal stopped her. "However, you don't have to worry. She's under the care of the Emperor." Yang Hongwu told her about Hua Qinshue's situation. Hua Wuying was happy for her. "That's good." At this moment, people came in one after another. Among them, Tian Xinjiu was unhappy when he saw Yang Hongwu. Of course, there was also Lin Tianyong, who looked at Yang Hongwu with hostility. This guy did not know how to appreciate kindness. He rejected his offer to join Kunlun Immortal Manor after cultivating the 1 Qi into 3 pure ones. Since he didn't want to join Kunlun Immortal Manor and become their disciple, he had to kill him to prevent the secret of the 1 Qi into 3 pure ones from being leaked. Therefore, he looked at Yang Hongwu with killing intent. He did not bother to hide it. "Junior brother Yang, you're too much. You didn't even wait for me." Gao Qingqing and Hai Qingqing walked in and looked at Yang Hongwu. "It's too dangerous here," Yang Hongwu said. "I don't have much confidence either." "Don't worry. You don't have to be responsible for anything that happens. Besides, I'm still confident in my luck. Even if I can't obtain the inheritance, I definitely won't die." Gao Qingqing raised her little head and said, "That's right. Just take care of Sister Wuying. I'll take care of Sister Qingqing." Hai Qingqing said. Hearing this, what else could Yang Hongwu say? "There is only one path here, and that is this bridge. Only by crossing this bridge can you enter the next stage. Yang Hongwu took a look. Mao also told Yang Hongwu that this bridge was not short. This section of the bridge was at least 100 feet. A bridge like this would definitely be a massive project in the modern era. However, for a powerhouse like the Lotus Emperor, a mere bridge could be built with a wave of his hand. Of course, the most important thing wasn't the construction of the bridge, but the things under the bridge and the countless restrictions and formation runes on the bridge. Bridge of Destiny. What a good bridge of destiny. There was an introduction at the head of the bridge. To pass through this bridge of destiny, one's cultivation wasn't dependent on one's cultivation, but on one's destiny. The stronger one's destiny, the higher the chance of passing through. If one's destiny was strong, then passing through this bridge wouldn't be dangerous at all. However, if one's destiny wasn't strong enough, then one might die here. There were layers of dangers on the bridge and all kinds of restrictions. These dangers were unknown. Destiny was something that couldn't be seen or touched. No one knew how good one's destiny was. However, Yang Hongwu couldn't help but admire the Lotus Emperor. He actually thought of such a method to find his own successor. Although luck was ethereal, it had a lot to do with a cultivator's future. However, Yang Hongwu believed that his destiny was in his own hands. You go up. Tian Xinjiu looked and said to a martial artist beside him, Senior brother Tian, what about me? Go up. Tian Xinjiu didn't dare to go up by himself. He needed someone to scout the way. Although he wanted to throw Yang Hongwu up, it was impossible. Yang Hongwu had Hai Qingqing by his side. Hai Qingqing was stronger than him. Therefore, he couldn't deal with Yang Hongwu now. At least, it was impossible in front of Hai Qingqing. Therefore, he needed someone to scout the way. The people around him were his best choice. What? My words are useless? Tian Xinjiu's eyes were filled with murderous intent. I'll go. That person had no choice but to walk forward due to Tian Xinjiu's threat. If he didn't go, then he would die. If he went up, then he might have a chance of survival. That person was unwilling to give up and walked onto the bridge of destiny. There wasn't any problem when he first went up. After a dozen steps, there was still no danger. That person was immediately overjoyed. Could it be that I'm a person with great destiny? That's great. Tian Xinjiu, you dare to treat me like this? Wait until I obtain the Lotus Emperor's inheritance in this life and death pagoda. I'll definitely make you die without a burial place. That's what he thought. But in the next moment, a flame erupted from the bridge and instantly burned him. Not even a speck of him was left behind. Seeing this scene, everyone at the bridgehead was stunned. Although that person wasn't strong, he was still a peak 10th level Dao Pedestal Realm cultivator. A 10th level Dao Pedestal Realm cultivator was actually turned into nothingness in an instant. Just what kind of flame was that? It was so terrifying that he didn't even have the chance to react. Even Yang Hongwu was shocked. This flame was too overbearing. As expected, it could kill. However, other than this flame, there should be something else. You go. At this moment, Tian Xinjiu said to another person, Senior brother Tian, no, I don't want to go. That person immediately cried out, I still have parents. I still have a beautiful fiancée. I still haven't married yet. I don't want to die. Senior brother Tian, I still don't want to die. That person hugged Tian Xinjiu and cried out. His appearance and expression were truly unbearable. You don't know how to appreciate favors. Tian Xinjiu abruptly tossed him onto the fortune bridge. Continue forward. If you dare to retreat, I'll kill you directly. Tian Xinjiu was definitely a ruthless person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to become one of the 5 great holy children in the Celestial Academy, even if he had a backer. After that person got onto the bridge, he knew that there was no way out. His gaze toward Tian Xinjiu was filled with resentment. Step by step, he was extremely careful. The position of each step he took was exactly the same as the previous person. There were no problems with the first and second steps. However, when he took the third step, an ice arrow shot out from the bridge. With a swoosh, that ice arrow instantly pierced through his throat. He twitched a few times before turning his gaze back to Tian Xinjiu. His gaze was filled with resentment. Chapter 508. Probing when Tian Shinjio looked at the others, they all retreated. They were afraid that Tian Shinjio would use them to test the road. Yang Hongwu shook his head inwardly. Such a person will be deserted by everyone in the future. There would be no one by his side. No matter how strong a cultivator was, if he didn't have someone he could trust, he wouldn't have a good ending. Let's go, Yang Hongwu said to Hua Wuying and Gao Qingqing. Okay. Gao Qingqing chose to believe in Yang Hongwu. However, Hai Qingqing was a bit hesitant. However, when she saw Yang Hongwu and the other two walking on the bridge, she followed them. When they reached the bridge, Yang Hongwu took out a few pills and gave them to the three girls. This is the fire protection pill, just in case. The fire protection pill wasn't a powerful pill. Of course, it wasn't easy for Yang Hongwu to concoct it. The fire protection pill was a 7th grade pill. However, now that Yang Hongwu had become a 7th grade alchemist, he was very familiar with concocting 7th grade pills. The fire protection pill, the water protection pill, and the detoxification pill were all concocted by Yang Hongwu, just in case. In addition, Yang Hongwu also took out a few fire avoidance talismans. These things were better prepared. Although Yang Hongwu believed in his ability, these pills and talismans weren't a bad thing. These pills and talismans, are they useful? Seeing Yang Hongwu take out 7th grade pills, Hai Qingqing was surprised. 7th grade pills were very precious. Of course, she could take them out too. However, she wasn't like Yang Hongwu, who didn't put 7th grade pills in his eyes at all. It was as if these pills weren't precious items. How could she know that Yang Hongwu was an alchemist himself, a 7th grade alchemist? After seeing the power of the flames, she was doubtful about the effects of these pills and talismans. You don't want them? If you don't want them, then give them back to me. Yang Hongwu said. I want them, why not? Hai Qingqing rolled her eyes and said, Junior brother Yang Hongwu, why are you so stingy? Isn't it just a pill and a talisman? I'll give them to you when we get out. Yang Hongwu was speechless. It was true that he was a 7th grade alchemist. However, 7th grade pills weren't cabbages. It wasn't difficult for Yang Hongwu to concoct them, but the materials were hard to find. The ingredients for a 7th grade medicinal pill were all very precious. It was definitely not an easy task to produce a portion of it. Yang Hongwu and the other three stepped onto the Bridge of Providence. Tian Shinjio and Lin Tianyong looked at them. The two of them had mixed feelings. On one hand, they wanted to see them die on the Bridge of Destiny, but on the other hand, they didn't want them to die on the bridge. If they could cross it safely, then they would also have a chance to cross it. The safety factor would be higher. After all, compared to Yang Hongwu's death, the inheritance of the Lotus Emperor was more important. 100 steps, 200 steps. Along the way, Yang Hongwu was very calm. However, Gao Qingqing and Hai Qingqing were very worried. On the other hand, Hua Wuying was following beside Yang Hongwu. He trusted Yang Hongwu and wasn't nervous at all. Seeing that Yang Hongwu and his group had walked so far safely and started to speed up, Tian Shinjio and Lin Tianyong were anxious. However, they didn't dare to go up. They grabbed another person and said, Go, follow them. Senior brother, that disciple wasn't willing. What? My words don't work? Lin Tianyong's face darkened. No, I'll go scout. That disciple could only nod his head. Although he wasn't willing, he couldn't do anything. He regretted coming here. How could an emperor's inheritance be so easy to obtain? Now, they were going to die. When they entered the Lotus Secret Realm, they knew that it was very dangerous. They could die at any time. But when they faced such a situation, they still felt very uncomfortable. What are you afraid of? Yang Hongwu and his group are in front. You just have to follow them, said Lin Tianyong. Although that disciple didn't dare to say it out loud, he was muttering in his heart. Since that's the case, why don't you go yourself? Why do you need someone to scout? Of course, he couldn't say those words out loud. If he did, Lin Tianyong would probably turn hostile and kill him. That person followed Yang Hongwu and his group carefully. His speed was too slow compared to Yang Hongwu and his group. After walking for about 50 steps, a huge spike suddenly appeared on the ground. Swish! These bone spikes instantly pierced through his body. Ah! He screamed miserably. His entire body was dripping with blood. Although he didn't die, The sudden attack had caused him great damage. He simply couldn't continue moving forward. Compared to the other two, he was lucky. After all, he didn't die. He was only heavily injured. Lin Tianyong's face was ashen. Yang Hongwu and his group had already walked so far. Nothing had happened. They were very safe. But the people he had sent out, and the people Tian Xinjiu had sent out, were either dead or heavily injured. "Brother Tian, what should we do?" asked Lin Tianyong. "Are we just going to watch them leave?" "Of course not. Brother Lin, do you have any ideas?" Tian Xinjiu looked at Lin Tianyong. Both of them were unwilling. But if they just went up, they were worried for their own safety. "This bridge of fate is very strange. I can't find any pattern. Those on it should be seals. I'm not good at seals. Brother Tian, you should have studied seals. Can't you find any pattern?" asked Lin Tianyong. "There's too little time. It's hard to find any pattern. Perhaps if we send a few more people to scout, we can find the pattern on the bridge of fate," said Tian Xinjiu. The two of them weren't sure if it was really related to fate. They didn't dare to take the risk. In their opinion, they weren't willing to put their lives in the hands of fate. Their own safety, their own lives had to be in their own hands. "Okay." Lin Tianyong nodded in agreement. After speaking, Lin Tianyong and Tian Xinjiu looked at the others. Of course, there were also the people from the Tai Xianfu. They wouldn't order them. The Tai Xianfu was the leader of the 4 great immortal mansions. Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong's strength wasn't enough to deter them. If a war broke out between the immortal mansions, it wouldn't be good. Therefore, they turned their attention to the other rogue cultivators and the weaker sect disciples. "All of you go up. If you don't go up, die." Under the deterrence of Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong, no one dared to resist. Those who didn't obey were suppressed and killed by them. Chapter 509. Leaving behind others due to the pressure of survival, they had no choice but to go up. Dozens of people were on the bridge of fortune. They continued to advance. From time to time, there would be people injured and people dying. Miserable screams and cries were unceasing. The people from the Tai Xianfu had yet to move. The person leading the Tai Xianfu was called Tai Yuanwang. Tai Yuanwang was even stronger than Hai Qingqing. He was the one who came in later. "Hurry up, hurry up." Seeing those people moving slowly, and Yang Hongwu and the others were already halfway there, Lin Tianyong and the others were very anxious and shouted loudly. At this moment, Tai Yuanwang moved. The people from the Tai Xianfu behind him did not move. They stood there. As for Tai Yuanwang, he stepped onto the bridge of fortune. Seeing that Tai Yuanwang had also gone up, Lin Tianyong's expression changed slightly. Could it be that he had also found the pattern of the bridge of fortune? After Tai Yuanwang stepped onto the bridge of fortune, those who blocked his path were all killed and crippled by him. His methods were bloody and cruel. "Tai Yuanwang, what are you doing?" Lin Tianyong and Tian Xinjiu trembled with anger. "A bunch of trash, wasting time here," Tai Yuanwang said coldly. "They can only blame themselves for blocking my path. Since they blocked my path, they must all die." "You, Tai Yuanwang, don't go too far. Although you're strong, if the two of us join forces, you're still not our match," Tian Xinjiu said coldly. "Join forces? So what if you join forces? Do you think I, Tai Yuanwang, am afraid of you? Not to mention you. Even if your Tiani immortal manners Tian Xinling and Kunlun immortal manners Lin Tianjiao came together, I wouldn't be afraid." Tai Yuanwang laughed lightly. Tian Xinling and Lin Tianjiao were the stronger existences in the 2 immortal mansions. They were much stronger than Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong. It could even be said that they were not on the same level. However, they were not here now. They were in the ancient desolate abyss. The appearance of the ancient desolate abyss was a true opportunity for them. They all had the inheritance of emperors. Furthermore, the Lotus Emperor's inheritance was not suitable for them. As for emperor weapons, in their eyes, only those that were suitable for them were the best. Emperor weapons didn't represent true strength. True experts all had their own emperor weapons. They relied on their own comprehension of the laws to condense them, not relying on inheritances. "Damn it, you killed our people. Do you think we won't kill yours?" When the two of them saw that Tai Yuan Huang was constantly touching their people, they were also furious. They glared fiercely at the disciples of the Tai Xianfu. There weren't many Tai Xianfu people present. There were only a dozen of them, but their strength couldn't be underestimated. You could try. Tai Yuan Huang continued to advance and continued to kill those who blocked his way. Some people, upon seeing Tai Yuan Huang coming over, hurriedly ran far away or increased their speed. Tai Yuan Huang was too powerful. He was at least at the 5th or 6th level of the divine realm. Among the people present, the strongest was only at the 4th step of the divine realm. The difference between their cultivation and Tai Yuan Huang's was not small. They couldn't even last a single round against him. Kill them. Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong were furious. The two of them attacked together and began to kill the disciples of the Tai Xianfu. Although Yang Hongwu had been advancing, he had been watching their dog-eat-dog behavior. However, he was surprised that Tai Yuan Huang was so domineering. His strength was also very strong. He was even stronger than Zhang Jiuyin, who had broken through. The Tai Xianfu was indeed the strongest among the 4 great immortal sects. It lived up to its name. This Tai Yuan Huang's strength is ranked 4th in the Tai Xianfu. He's very strong. Hai Qingqing said, even I'm not his opponent. He's not here with good intentions. We should speed up. Yang Hongwu said, as for now, although this Tai Yuan Huang is strong, I don't put him in my eyes. It's just a little troublesome. It's fine if he doesn't provoke me. If he does, I'll let him know how powerful I am. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. This Tai Yuan Huang was so domineering. It was only a matter of time before they faced each other. However, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried yet. Right now, he was fighting with Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong. If he wanted to find trouble with him, he would have to at least deal with them first. However, Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong weren't easy to deal with. If they were so easy to deal with, they wouldn't have become the holy sons of Qianni Immortal Palace and Kunlun Immortal Palace. Yang Hongwu and the others increased their speed. It was as if this wasn't the Bridge of Providence, which was fraught with danger, but an ordinary bridge. Seeing Yang Hongwu's speed, some of the people on the bridge who were threatened by Tai Yuan Huang also increased their speed. However, they were different from Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu and the others didn't feel any pressure at all. This bridge didn't pose any danger to them, nor were there any restrictions. However, they were different. Even if Yang Hongwu and the others walked on the same path, they would still encounter terrifying dangers. Many people died on the bridge. Seeing Yang Hongwu walk 3/4 of the way, Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong, who wanted to kill Tai Xianfu for revenge, became anxious. The two of them looked at each other, then jumped up and stepped onto the Bridge of Providence. Tai Yuan Huang also increased his speed. His speed wasn't any slower than Yang Hongwu and the others. At this moment, the people on the Fortune Bridge began to compete for speed. It was as if they had forgotten the dangers on the bridge. Just as Tai Yuan Huang was halfway through the bridge, a ball of flame exploded. Tai Yuan Huang's body swayed, easily dodging the flame attack. Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong also encountered different degrees of attacks. Only Yang Hongwu and the other 3 didn't encounter any danger. Tai Yuan Huang's eyes flashed coldly. Seeing Yang Hongwu and the others increasing their speed and the distance between them increasing, he grabbed the air with his right hand, and a sharp arrow appeared in his hand. Whoosh! He threw the arrow with all his strength, and it shot out rapidly. Yang Hongwu seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. He swung his hand, and a terrifying true dragon blade slashed out, slashing at the arrow. Crack! With a crisp sound, the arrow was cut in half. Yang Hongwu was furious. This bastard actually dared to attack him on the Fortune Bridge. He was courting death. If he didn't teach him a lesson, he would really think that no one here could deal with him. With a thought, Yang Hongwu took out the True Dragon Zither. The strings of the True Dragon Zither were plucked. Ding ding, ding ding. A mysterious zither sound rang out, and sound blade shot out. This invisible sound blade attack was very powerful. Chapter 510. Jade Battle Chariot. You're really courting death. Wait till I catch up to you guys. I'll kill you. Tai Yuan Huang's tone was light, but it was filled with a terrifying, killing intent. Kill us? Wait till you catch up to us. Right now, you don't even have the qualifications to fight me. Yang Hongwu mocked. Also, the people behind you are catching up. Haha, you killed so many of them. Do you think they'll let you go? Who do they think they are? They're nothing in my eyes. I'll let you live a little longer. Wait till I'm done with them. Then it'll be your death. At this moment, Tai Yuan Huang saw Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong rushing over, and he frowned. Yang Hongwu's speed was too fast, and there was no way to catch up. He didn't seem to be affected by the Bridge of Fortune, and Tai Yuan Huang still had to deal with the sudden attacks from the Bridge of Fortune. Could this kid really be the son of Fortune? The one with the strongest fortune here? Tai Yuan Huang didn't believe this. No matter what, he would deal with this kid after he dealt with Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong. Yang Hongwu didn't care about them. The four of them were about to walk out of the Bridge of Fortune. Wait! Yang Hongwu suddenly stopped. Hua Wuing looked at Yang Hongwu and asked, "What's wrong?" Gao Qingqing and the other two were puzzled. What's the problem? The road ahead gave Yang Hongwu a sense of danger, as if there was a thorn in his back. You guys enter my true dragon space first. Yang Hongwu said to Hua Wuing and Gao Qingqing. I feel that there's a great danger ahead. Senior Sister Hai, do you want to enter my small world? You have a small world? Hai Qingqing was shocked. She didn't expect Yang Hongwu to have his own small world. A small world wasn't something an ordinary person could have. In the entire Sea God Immortal Manor, there weren't many people who had a small world. Even those powerful saints didn't have one. She had only obtained it after much effort in an ancient ruin. Furthermore, that small world wasn't big, and it hadn't developed to the point where it could contain living people. She had to grow another realm before she could live people in her small world. She didn't expect Yang Hongwu's small world to be able to hold people, and it wasn't just one, but two. It was his small world. And small? Senior Sister Wuing and Senior Sister Qingqing. Sister Wuing and Senior Sister. Sister Qingqing. I don't need it. Hai Qingqing said, I'm stronger than you, and I can protect myself. You don't have to worry about that. I don't need to enter the small world either. Hua Wuing said, Did you forget that I'm the successor of the Lotus Emperor? How can I die here? Hua Wuing was very confident. This made Yang Hongwu feel helpless. He felt that there should be great danger ahead. Everyone doesn't want to enter the small world. It's not suitable for me to go alone. Gao Qingqing said, All right, since everyone doesn't want to enter the small world, then let's move together. But be careful. Don't separate. It's best if everyone hold hands. Yang Hongwu said after hesitating. Don't worry, Hai Qingqing said with a smile. If you're so worried, then I'll give you a guarantee. As she said that, she stretched out her hand, and something appeared in her palm. It was a chariot. The jade-colored chariot looked like a battleship in a sci-fi movie. It looked very domineering, but it was more beautiful. The whole body was jade-colored, and it was magnificent. That's Heaven Emerald? Hua Wuing saw the chariot in Gao Qingqing's hand and exclaimed, Yes, this is a chariot refined from Heaven Emerald. This chariot has both attack and defense. Its defense is amazing, and its attack is also very strong. Hai Qingqing said proudly, The defense of these two chariots can withstand the full attack of a peak venerable expert. Unless a great emperor attacks, it's impossible to break the chariot's defense in a short time. Moreover, my chariot's attack is also very strong. Its strongest attack is equivalent to a late venerable expert, but it consumes a lot of energy. If it's used for defense, it will consume hundreds of spiritual stones in a breath. If it's used for attack, it will consume 500 spiritual stones. Yang Hongwu heard that. Although this chariot was good, it consumed a lot of spiritual stones. The strongest defense would consume 100 spiritual stones in a breath, and an attack would consume 500 spiritual stones. It was even faster than robbing. It wasn't something that ordinary people could afford. At least for Yang Hongwu, he couldn't afford it even if it was given to him. How many spiritual stones did he have now? What was a tycoon? This was a true nouveau riche. Gao Qingqing was already considered a nouveau riche before, But Hai Qingqing was even more of a nouveau riche than Gao Qingqing. Yang Hanwu wondered if everyone with the word Qingqing in their name was a tycoon. Let's go. Hai Qingqing enlarged the chariot and everyone entered it. The chariot started moving quickly. They were about to cross the bridge of fortune. At the last moment, a terrifying force appeared. It was the force of space collapsing. Many space fragments turned into terrifying sharp blades, tearing towards Yang Hongwu and the others. It was as if they could be torn to pieces at any time. Looking at the attack outside, Hai Qingqing was shocked. Even her chariot couldn't withstand such a terrifying force. The consumption of spiritual stones was too shocking. Passive defense would consume 100 spiritual stones in a breath. This was when the chariot was activated to the maximum. She thought that she could withstand it with the lowest consumption, but she didn't expect it to be the maximum consumption. After more than 10 breaths, they reached the edge of the bridge of fortune. Open! Hai Qingqing shouted. A fist-sized, crystal-clear spiritual stone was thrown into the chariot. Suddenly, the chariot shone brightly. Boom! With a loud sound, a huge ray of light blasted out. The spatial fragments and spatial blades in front of him were all shattered and scattered. As for the fragments, they couldn't do much damage to the chariot. Suddenly, the chariot turned into a jade dragon and broke through the last bit of the bridge of fortune. After crossing the bridge of fortune, everyone took a deep breath. After getting down from the chariot, Hai Qingqing reluctantly kept the chariot. Chapter 511. Thousand Blades Mountain. It's indeed very dangerous. After entering the safe zone, the four of them heaved a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for Hai Qingqing's jade war chariot, it would have been very dangerous. At best, they would have been injured, but at worst, they would have died. After resting for a while, they continued to move forward. The next test shocked Yang Hongwu and the others even more. It was a mountain. This mountain was different. There were countless sharp blades on the mountain. These blades weren't fixed on the mountain. They were constantly moving and cutting. Saber Mountain, the Saber Mountain of 1,000 sabers. It's not going to be easy to get past it. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and stared at the Saber Mountain before him, wondering how he could get past it. Look over there. There's a narrow path. Gao Qingqing said. Yang Hongwu looked over. Indeed, there was a small path in the middle of the mountain. That small path looked very peaceful. However, who knew if there were terrifying traps on that small path? As for directly walking through the mountain of blades, that was even more out of the question. Not to mention those sharp blades. There were also those terrifying blade auras that were simply fatal. It was impossible to pass through it casually. Then, how could they pass through this small path? The small path was the only choice. However, what kind of traps were there on the small path? What kind of situation was this? They had no idea. It's a pity. If only we had a puppet. Gao Qingqing sighed. I have a puppet, but it's broken. Hai Qingqing said, I got it by accident. However, we don't have a puppet master, so we can't control it. Don't worry about that. I can try. Yang Hongwu said, You're a puppet master? I only know a little. Yang Hongwu said, It's not a problem to repair and control some ordinary puppets. Then you can try. I have a puppet here. Hai Qingqing took out a puppet. It was a cat-shaped puppet. It wasn't too big, but it wasn't small either. It was slightly bigger than an ordinary cat-type beast. The material used to make this puppet was very good. This is a spiritual cat puppet. Yang Hongwu was surprised when he saw the puppet. The psychic cat puppet was not an ordinary one. The psychic cat was a type of spiritual cat. Although it was inferior to the chinchilla, it was still very powerful. This puppet had the aura of the psychic cat, and its appearance was also made according to the psychic cat's appearance. However, its entire body was made of a special metal material. This material was invulnerable to swords, spears, water, and fire. It was very difficult to destroy. Even a late divine realm expert might not be able to break it. The reason why Hai Qingqing was able to obtain this spiritual cat puppet was probably because the spiritual cat puppet's spiritual sense had dissipated due to the passage of time. Otherwise, it would not be easy to obtain the spiritual cat's puppet. You know him? It seems like you're really a puppet master. Hai Qingqing was very surprised to see Yang Hongwu's familiar appearance. The psychic cat was a type of savage beast that had disappeared for many years. Ordinary people did not know about it. Only some ancient families had some records about it and knew about its existence. Yang Hongwu was able to recognize it at a glance. It was enough to prove that he was indeed not simple. A psychic cat puppet is very hard to come by. A truly powerful puppet master can pay a high price for this psychic cat puppet. Of course, even if an ordinary puppet master were to obtain this puppet, it would still be of no use to him. Fortunately, I have a way to deal with it. Yang Hongwu said, normally, a puppet master would have to break the restriction on the puppet and then leave his mark on the core control center of the puppet beast. Only then would he be able to truly control the puppet beast. However, although this spiritual cat puppet beast did not have any spiritual consciousness, it was still impossible for him to break the restriction runes and leave his mark on the spiritual cat's body. However, Yang Hongwu had cultivated the refining Spirit Heart Sutra, Yin Yang Soul Lock Spell, Divine Talisman Technique, and Restriction Breaking Pill. This puppet beast is just a piece of trash in my hands. It has no use at all. Since you're a knowledgeable person, and it's only useful in your hands, I'll give it to you, Hai Qingqing generously said. Indeed, she was not a puppet master, and she did not know any powerful puppet master. This puppet was useless in her hands. If she gave it to Yang Hongwu, she would be able to gain his favor. This was the best way to deal with it. Yang Hongwu was very powerful. His body was very special. His luck was also very amazing. How could a person who could obtain the ninth heaven profound Yin Tower be so simple? The more Hai Qingqing knew, the more she discovered that Yang Hongwu was extraordinary. His luck was very amazing. Moreover, his strength was not comparable to ordinary people. On the surface, his cultivation realm was not high. However, his fighting strength was very terrifying. Hai Qingqing faintly had a premonition that the ninth heaven profound Yin Tower was not his greatest trump card. His true trump card might be even more terrifying than the ninth heaven profound Yin Tower. Protect me. I will deal with this spiritual cat puppet. Yang Hongwu said to everyone. Since such a good thing was given to him, Yang Hongwu naturally would not refuse. Unless he was a fool. Yang Hongwu was not a fool. Of course, he would accept it. This spiritual cat puppet was very powerful. After it was repaired, it would be equivalent to having a helper of the divine realm. Moreover, this helper would be much more powerful than ordinary divine realm experts. As long as it had enough energy, it could attack without limit. This was the most important thing. It was a pity that if he could obtain the core of a spiritual cat, he would be able to display the full potential of this spiritual cat puppet. However, spiritual cats had disappeared for countless years. It was rumored that the spiritual cat race had gone extinct. Hua Wuying and the other two protected Yang Hongwu in the center. Yang Hongwu also arranged the Heavenly Dipper Lightning Transformation Formation. Similarly, Gao Qingqing also arranged a few formations. The four of them were in the formation. If they wanted to deal with Yang Hongwu's group, they would have to break the formation first. These formations were not simple. Even if Tai Yuan Huang came, he would need time to break the formation. This time was enough for Yang Hongwu to control the spiritual cat puppet. At this time, Tai Yuan Huang, Tian Xinjiu, and Lin Tianyong walked out of the Bridge of Fortune. The three of them reached an agreement. Chapter 512. Attacking Formation. It seems like they've been training inside. I reckon that their injuries are not light. Tian Xinjiu looked at the formation in front of him and sneered. This formation should be set up by Gao Qingqing. I didn't expect her formation skills to have increased again. No wonder my aunt values her so much. However, although this formation is pretty good, it's not enough to stop the three of us. That's right. It's merely a formation. Lin Tianyong nodded. Only Tai Yuan Wang did not say anything. He only sneered. Naturally, he saw through the profoundness of the formation. The outer formation was only a cover. The true formation was inside. Since they were so arrogant, it would be good for them to make a fool of themselves and lose face. Although the three of them had formed an alliance, Tai Yuan Huang was still very happy to see them lose face. At this moment, the three women inside the formation naturally saw Tian Xinjiu and the others. Tian Xinjiu and the others are here. What should we do? Hai Qingqing was somewhat anxious. If it was only Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong, I would have the confidence to stop them. However, with Tai Yuan Huang, I have no way to deal with them. With Hai Qingqing's strength, stopping one person was absolutely not a problem. If it was 2 people, it would be a bit strenuous. However, if it was 3 people, it was simply impossible to stop them. Now that Tai Yuan Huang and the others had joined hands, how could she not be worried? Don't worry, you must believe in Yang Hongwu. His formation is not that easy to break. Hua Wuying said. That's right. Junior brother Yang's formation skills are extremely powerful. Even I am far inferior to him. Junior brother Yang should have already become a grade 7 formation master. Gao Qingqing said. Grade 7 formation master. This, you're not joking, right? How could a grade 7 formation master be so easy to come by? In the entire ancient domain, the number of grade 7 formation masters could be counted with one's fingers. Among the younger generation, there was only one formation master who became a grade 7 formation master. That was because he originally had talent in formations and was born in a family that specialized in formations. With the inheritance of formations, he was able to become a grade 7 formation master before the age of 50. Moreover, in the entire ancient domain, there were only a handful of grade 7 array masters. Grade 7 array masters were even rarer than grade 7 alchemists and grade 7 pill kings. From this, one could see how difficult it was to become an array master. Of course not. It's true. Although the lightning array was set up using a formation plate, it's extremely powerful. As long as there are enough spiritual stones, it's enough to stop Tai Yuan Huang and the others. Hua Wuying said confidently. Moreover, Yang Hongwu should be able to crack the psychic cat puppet very soon and refine it for his own use. Once the psychic cat puppet is refined successfully, it will be of great help. Hai Qingqing nodded. She could only hope that this was the case. Outside the array, Tian Xinjiu had already started to crack the array. He wasn't an array master, but his aunt, Gao Qingqing's master, was an array master. He had some understanding of formations. After studying it carefully, he discovered that it wasn't difficult to crack the array outside. However, it would take time. If they wanted to crack it quickly, it would be best to use brute force. This array isn't difficult, but it will take time to crack it. Therefore, I suggest that we use brute force to crack the array. Tian Xinjiu said. Then what are we waiting for? Let's do it together. Lin Tianyong said. The 2 of you are enough. Tai Yuan Huang said. However, I have to remind you that this array isn't that simple. What you see is just the surface. You're an array master? Tian Xinjiu frowned. This Tai Yuan Huang actually dared to question him. Didn't he know that his aunt was an array master, a grade 7 formation master? No, Tai Yuan Huang said. Although I'm not an array master, I have some understanding of formations. You know more than me? My aunt is a grade 7 formation master. I know more than you. If you don't want to do it, just say it. We don't need you to do it either. In truth, I alone am enough to crack this array. It's just that we want to save time, so we're all doing it together. Tian Xinjiu was extremely displeased. Who did this Tai Yuan Huang think he was? So what if his cultivation was a bit stronger than his? True battle prowess wasn't just determined by cultivation. It was a combination of various factors. If they were to truly fight to the death, he might not necessarily lose to Tai Yuan Huang. Seeing them like this, Tai Yuan Huang only sneered. He didn't say anything. Dogs biting dogs, why aren't they fighting? Seeing that Tian Xinjiu and the other 2 were arguing again, Gao Qingqing and the other 2 were extremely happy. However, seeing that they weren't fighting, they felt regretful. If the 3 of them were to fight and both sides were injured, that would be the best outcome. It won't be that easy. Hai Qingqing said, although Tai Yuan Huang is overbearing and arrogant, he's no fool. Look at him, he's walking toward that small path. After Hai Qingqing's reminder, they discovered that Tai Yuan Huang was walking toward a small path near the Thousand Blade Mountain. He's also discovered that small path. If that's the case, doesn't that mean he's walking ahead of us? Gao Qingqing said, don't worry, that small path shouldn't be that simple. Otherwise, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have thought of using puppets to scout the path. We'll just wait for him to make a fool of himself. With Tai Yuan Huang walking away, the pressure on us is lessened. Even if the formation is broken, I have the confidence to block Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong for a period of time. Hai Qingqing said. Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong didn't pay attention to Tai Yuan Huang. The two of them had already started attacking the outer formation that Gao Qingqing had set up. The two of them attacked with their full strength. In an instant, a crack appeared on the formation. Again, this formation won't be able to last for long. As long as we can break the formation, they'll be finished. Tian Xinjiu said loudly. Boom! Two powerful forces bombarded the array formation. A cracking sound came from the formation as it instantly shattered the formation outside. However, at this time, a terrifying bolt of lightning heavily struck the two of them. Bang! The two of them were stunned by the terrifying bolt of lightning. It was really as Tai Yuan Huang had said. This formation wasn't that simple. The attack with their full strength had shattered the formation. However, they didn't defend against it. Adding on the fact that the attack consumed a lot of energy, the two of them were injured. The two of them had their hair standing on end. Their bodies were slightly charred. They looked like beggars. Tian Xinjiu, you bastard. Didn't you say that this formation was nothing? How could such a thing happen? Lin Tianyong was furious. When had he ever been in such a sorry state? Chapter 5:13. Spiritual Cat Puppet. Not good, be careful. Tian Xinjiu's expression changed. The lightning array once again launched an attack. Another terrifying lightning bolt shot down. At first, the two of them didn't notice it. At this moment, it wouldn't be easy to hit them. The two of them dodged and avoided the second attack. Damn it, this lightning array is so powerful. Lin Tianyong cursed as he kept dodging. Serves you right. Now you know how powerful it is. Gao Qingqing looked at Lin Tianyong's miserable appearance and couldn't help but laugh. It's best if it's more powerful and kill these two guys. It's not that easy. Although this array is powerful, Tian Xinjiu and Tian Xinjiu aren't weak either. After all, they're saints of the four great immortal mansions. They're powerful and have countless trump cards. If they die so easily, how could they be qualified to be saints? Hai Qingqing shook her head and said, she was a saintess, the #1 saintess of the sea god immortal mansion. Although such an attack was powerful, she would only be injured at most. Therefore, it was impossible to kill Tian Xinjiu and Tian Xinjiu like this. Think of a way to break this array. Lin Tianyong retreated while blocking the array's attack. Soon, he was out of the array's attack range. If the three of us work together, we might be able to break this array. Tian Xinjiu only knew a little about arrays. He wasn't a true array master. Moreover, this array wasn't weak. Even if a true array master came, he might not be able to break it, unless he was a 7th grade array master. Damn it, Tai Yuan Huang went to the Saber Mountain. At this moment, Lin Tianyong saw Tai Yuan Huang. At this moment, Tai Yuan Huang had already entered the path of the 1,000 Saber Mountain. Moreover, he had already passed through a small part of it. That bastard, I knew he wasn't reliable. Let's go too. Although Yang Hongwu was despicable, it wasn't important compared to the great emperor's inheritance. It wouldn't be too late to deal with them after obtaining the great emperor's inheritance. All right, the two of them gave up on attacking Yang Hongwu and Tian Xinjiu and quickly rushed towards the path. They left to challenge the Saber Mountain. Gao Qingqing said, Junior brother Yang hasn't woken up yet. What should we do? Don't worry. The Mountain of Blades isn't that easy to pass, Hua Wuying said. I have a feeling that they'll be in big trouble. You have a premonition too? Hai Qingqing believed that Yang Hongwu's premonition had indeed happened. If he hadn't predicted it in advance, he would have been seriously injured. Don't forget that I have the bloodline of the Hua family. The Lotus Emperor is my ancestor. Hua Wuying said, Junior brother Yang said that I have an 80% chance of obtaining the inheritance. While they were still discussing, Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. The psychic cat puppet in front of him also opened its eyes. Its eyes were like a pair of psychic eyes filled with wisdom. Junior brother Yang, you succeeded? Gao Qingqing was overjoyed as she looked at Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu nodded. I succeeded. In fact, Yang Hongwu had integrated a part of his soul into the psychic cat puppet. This psychic cat puppet was equivalent to Yang Hongwu's doppelganger. Why do I feel like this psychic cat puppet is just like you? Hai Qingqing said at this moment. You're right. I've separated a part of my soul and integrated it into this psychic cat puppet. In other words, this psychic cat puppet is me. Yang Hongwu said, once I'm in danger, I can retrieve my primordial spirit at any time. It won't affect me at all. It's just like my doppelganger. It has great fighting prowess that can rival a mid-divine realm warrior. If Yang Hongwu's soul wasn't weak, this psychic cat puppet's strength could be increased by another level. That's great. This way, we'll have another big safeguard. The strength of a mid-divine realm expert was already very strong. Hai Qingqing looked at Yang Hongwu in astonishment. This Yang Hongwu's combat strength was really amazing. His realm wasn't very high, but his combat strength was so strong. In addition, he was an array master and alchemist. Moreover, he was a 7th grade king realm expert. Such a person would be in noble existence wherever he went. After entering the 4 major immortal mansion, his status would be higher than those holy sons. They've already gone to the Blade Mountain. What should we do? Should we chase after them? Gao Qingqing said anxiously. No need. Yang Hongwu's mouth curved into a smile. Let them explore the path ahead. This Blade Mountain shouldn't be just one path. If I'm not wrong, that path is the one that's really dangerous. It can be said that there's only a 9 out of 10 chance of survival. If we're not careful, we'll die under the thousands of blades. There's another path? Where is it? Why can't I see it? Gao Qingqing asked. You can't see it. Yang Hongwu pointed at the middle of the mountain ridge. You're kidding, right? Looking at the place Yang Hongwu was pointing at, there were countless sharp sabers. The terrifying saber chi formed many saber chi whirlpools. Once one was sucked into these saber chi whirlpools, they would definitely tear a person into pieces and mince them into meat paste. Do you think I'm the kind of person who jokes? Yang Hongwu said, I'm confident in everything I do. That place seems to be the most dangerous, but in fact, it's the safest path. I believe in Junior Brother Yang. Hua Wuying said, I believe in you too. Hai Qingqing nodded in agreement. You guys, all right, I'm not saying that I don't believe in you. I'm just a little worried. After all, that place seems too dangerous. I don't want to be cut into meat paste by those terrifying blade chi. Gao Qingqing spread out her hands and said weakly, Then let's go now. Hai Qingqing said, There's no hurry. Let's wait for a while. Let's wait until that path is completely sealed and they have no way out. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, You're saying that the path over there will be sealed? Hai Qingqing was surprised. How do you know so much? She was too curious. Could it be that he had entered here before? Otherwise, how could he be so clear about the situation here? Or was it the Lotus Great Emperor who told him all this? Was he the chosen successor of the Lotus Great Emperor? That shouldn't be the case. If he was the chosen successor, why would he go through so much trouble? What kind of person was the Lotus Great Emperor? At his level, there was no need for him to do such a thing. There was no need, and he disdained to do so. Then there was only one other possibility. Yang Hongwu knew this himself. As for how he knew, it depended on Yang Hongwu himself. Mysterious, more and more mysterious. Chapter 514. Saber venerable. As soon as he said that, the path was sealed. Terrifying saber blades and whirlwind-like saber lights sealed the path behind them. Everyone was dumbfounded. It was as if there was a giant beast behind them, baring its sharp teeth and chasing after Tian Xinjiu and the others. Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong's faces turned ashen when they saw that. They madly ran forward with extreme speed, wishing that they could grow more legs. So terrifying. Luckily, we didn't go. Seeing this, Gao Qingqing and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. Such a terrifying attack was hard to block. Even the Jade Chariot would find it hard to block such a terrifying attack. Let's go. Yang Hongwu had already expected this result. He wasn't surprised at all. Junior Brother Yang, are you confident? I don't want to end up like them. Although Lin Tianyong and the others were still running for their lives, they definitely didn't feel good. If they were hit by that terrifying saber chi, they would be in big trouble. Don't worry. Although it's dangerous, it's definitely not that terrifying, Yang Hongwu said with a smile. It's better to be careful. Let's take the Jade Chariot. Hai Qingqing said. That's good too. The group entered the chariot. The chariot slowly drove into the Thousand Saber Mountain. Are we really going in? When the chariot arrived in front of the Saber Chi, Hai Qingqing was still hesitating. The Saber Chi in front of her was too terrifying. Go in. This is just an illusion, Yang Hongwu said. Don't worry. You know what to go in. You have to trust me. All right, I'll fight with you. Hai Qingqing gritted her teeth, and the chariot entered the Saber Chi. Everyone closed their eyes, waiting for the Saber Chi to attack. They all hoped that the chariot wouldn't be cut into pieces. After entering the Saber Chi, everyone opened their eyes after a long while. The chariot really wasn't attacked. This made the girls feel relieved. There's really no problem. I thought we'd die here, Gao Qingqing said. Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes. Am I so unreliable? But it's too dangerous. What if something goes wrong? That's right. Hua Wuying and Hai Qingqing nodded at the same time. It was indeed very dangerous. If anything went wrong, it would be disastrous. Even if the Jade War Chariot could withstand the attack, it would be severely damaged. After entering the passageway, the journey was very smooth. They did not encounter any terrifying attacks, nor did they encounter any huge problems. Along the way, it was a bit too quiet. I'll let the psychic cat explore the way, Yang Hongwu said. Although the defense of the war chariot was amazing, it was still difficult to deal with once it encountered danger. It was much better to let the psychic cat puppet scout the way. At the very least, if they knew that there was danger ahead, they would have enough time to prepare. Yang Hongwu's spiritual cat, doppelganger, entered the passageway. Step by step, it was very careful. The Jade War Chariot was not far away and followed behind. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, countless swords and sabers shot out from all sides of the tunnel. These swords and sabers were very fast and densely packed as they shot towards the psychic cat puppet. The spiritual cat could feel the attacks coming from the swords and sabers, and it kept dodging. 99% of the swords and sabers were dodged, but there was still a sharp blade that hit the spiritual cat's back heavily. The powerful force made the spiritual cat's body fly out and hit the wall. A huge crater was created in the wall, and it was deeply sunken. Yang Hongwu's main body also shook. The attack of the swords and sabers had an impact on the primordial spirit. When the doppelganger's primordial spirit was attacked, the main body was also injured. What's wrong? Are you okay? Hua Wuying saw that Yang Hongwu's face was not looking good and asked with concern. I'm fine. I just got hit. I didn't expect that the attack of the swords and sabers could directly attack the primordial spirit. Moreover, even the main body was hit. This place is not that simple. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and said after adjusting his breathing for a while, Let's get on the war chariot. There's no need to take risks, Hai Qingqing said. No need. Yang Hongwu shook his head. The front part was even more dangerous. If they were in the war chariot, there was no way they could do it. After safely passing another part of the journey, Yang Hongwu opened his eyes wide and looked very nervous. There was a spacious stone room in front of them. The real test was in that stone room. Mao told Yang Hongwu that there was a terrifying expert in front of them. It was a saber venerable. This was the real test of the Thousand Sabers Mountain. Only by defeating this saber venerable could one pass the Thousand Sabers Mountain. Sure enough, the spiritual cat walked over and a powerful figure appeared. The figure was surrounded by terrifying saber energy. The saber energy seemed to have a mind of its own as it shuttled back and forth. Boom! When the spiritual cat appeared, the figure shot a saber energy towards the spiritual cat. Yang Hongwu controlled the spiritual cat to dodge. However, the saber energy seemed to have a mind of its own. It was like a homing missile, and there was no way to dodge it. Boom! Yang Hongwu controlled the spiritual cat to attack with its claw. The two forces collided, and the spiritual cat's body was sent flying. The figure slowly stood still. He was still surrounded by terrifying saber energy. His entire body was like a divine saber. Yang Hongwu controlled the spiritual cat to retreat. This is the last test of our level, Yang Hongwu said. This is a saber venerable. You guys wait in the war chariot. I'll go and deal with it. Saber venerable, how are you going to deal with it? You're not strong enough. Hua Wuying frowned and said worriedly. No, this saber venerable's strength increases when facing a strong opponent. My cultivation realm is not high, so the saber venerable's cultivation realm will be suppressed. This is the test, Yang Hongwu said. Moreover, I want to use this chance to comprehend the true saber intent. For Yang Hongwu, being able to fight with a saber venerable was a huge benefit. It would be more helpful for him to comprehend the saber intent. But no buts. You have to trust me, Yang Hongwu said. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I don't want to waste it. All right, you have to be careful. If you can't defeat him, immediately retreat. We'll use the war chariot. This saber venerable is not a real saber venerable. It's just a spiritual consciousness. There are ways to defeat this spiritual consciousness. It's not too difficult, Hai Qingqing said. I know. Don't worry, Yang Hongwu said. He picked up the true dragon blade and slowly walked towards the saber venerable. The saber in his hand was surrounded by terrifying saber energy. Junior, I hope you won't disappoint me and can defeat me, the saber venerable said calmly when he saw Yang Hongwu holding the saber. Chapter 5:15. Minor success in saber. Intense saber master stretched out a finger, and the saber chi shot out from his finger as if his hand was a divine saber. The saber chi collided with Yang Hongwu's saber. The impact was so strong that Yang Hongwu was pushed back and his saber flew out of his hand. Yang Hongwu couldn't believe that his saber was sent flying. The gap was too big, wasn't it? The venerable skeleton and venerable saber were both venerable ones. But why was the gap between the two so huge? Too weak. Saber Master's hand turned into a saber and slashed toward Yang Hongwu's neck. The saber chi condensed into a saber that was filled with killing intent. It was overbearing and ferocious. Yang Hongwu stepped back. He wanted to avoid the saber chi attack, but the saber chi followed him like a shadow. There was no way to avoid it. Although the saber is good, you have never understood what a saber is. If you don't understand what a saber is, you won't understand how to use a saber. Only by understanding the saber can you understand how to use a saber. If you can't do that, you won't be able to grasp the soul of a saber. You won't be able to comprehend saber intent, and you'll never be a true saber artist. Saber Master said to Yang Hongwu, "What is a saber? How do I comprehend a saber?" Yang Hongwu was confused. Boom! Saber Master's saber slashed toward Yang Hongwu. In the next moment, Yang Hongwu's head was about to be cut off. Hua Wuying, Hai Qingqing, and the others were shocked. They shouted, "Yang Hongwu, watch out!" Just as the saber was about to hit Yang Hongwu's neck, Yang Hongwu suddenly opened his eyes. He opened his hand, and the true dragon blade automatically flew to Yang Hongwu's right hand. He held it with both hands and slashed out. The slash was traceless. It was like an antelope's horn. Boom! The saber chi was shattered by Yang Hongwu and turned into nothingness. "Thank you for your guidance, Senior," Yang Hongwu said as he looked at Saber Master after shattering the saber chi. "You're worth teaching." Saber Master nodded with satisfaction. This test was not a test. Instead, it was more like a form of training for Yang Hongwu. It was to help him cultivate his saber intent. Saber Master had used his saber intent to attack Yang Hongwu, allowing him to comprehend a trace of saber intent. Without Saber Master's help, Yang Hongwu did not know how long it would have taken him to comprehend this trace of saber intent. "Senior, I'm going to go all out," Yang Hongwu said. "All right, let me see how much potential you have." Saber Master nodded and condensed a battle saber in his hand. The battle saber was simple and unadorned. It looked like a very ordinary chopper. However, when Yang Hongwu faced this hatchet, he felt a terrifying pressure. This pressure made it difficult for Yang Hongwu to breathe. It was as if this was not a chopper, but a divine saber that could split heaven and earth. In front of him, even heaven and earth would pale in comparison. Real dragon's fury. Yang Hongwu roared and waved the real dragon blade in his hand. A giant golden dragon roared out. The giant dragon was mighty and domineering. Its aura was so strong that even the gods and demons in the sky would tremble. Its powerful strength seemed to be able to tear everything in its way into pieces and kill every living thing that stood in its way. Good. Saber Master snorted and slashed out with the chopper in his hand. The speed of the chopper was neither fast nor slow, as if there was no strength behind it. It was so natural and natural. Crack! The chopper and the giant golden dragon collided. There was no earth-shattering explosion as expected. The chopper cut into the giant dragon's neck, and the giant golden dragon turned into ashes. Yang Hongwu's body trembled, and his body was sent flying. Yang Hongwu's eyes were filled with disbelief. This blade seemed ordinary, but it was actually so terrifying. That domineering power exploded out in an instant. Yang Hongwu felt that he didn't even have the strength to resist. Defeated? Defeated just like that? Yang Hongwu murmured to himself, I can't even withstand a single blow. Am I really that weak? No. How can I be defeated just like that? My saber is invincible. My saber can cut through everything. My saber will never be defeated. Nothing can stop my saber from cutting through the universe. Yang Hongwu roared and waved the battle saber in his hand again. This time, the saber was not as gorgeous as before. There was no real dragon. However, there was an indomitable aura that could cut through everything and destroy everything. It was unstoppable. It could kill gods and demons in its way. Rumble. The saber radiance was peerless, and the void was destroyed. Crack. The battle saber stood on Saber Master's body, and the latter's shadow shattered bit by bit. After Saber Master was destroyed, a portal appeared in front of him. Saber Master's spiritual consciousness turned into a ray of light and shot towards Yang Hongwu's glabella. Kid, don't let me down. Saber Master's consciousness left some information for Yang Hongwu. Saber Master's spiritual consciousness turned into pure energy and merged into Yang Hongwu's body. It continued to condense Yang Hongwu's saber intent, and it continued to improve. After a while, the power of the spiritual consciousness was refined, and Yang Hongwu reached the minor success realm of saber intent. Saber intent realm. I didn't expect Saber Master to help me reach the minor success realm of saber intent. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. He was really lucky. Without Saber Master's help, it would be very difficult to condense a trace of saber intent, let alone reach the minor success realm of saber intent. His cultivation had also improved by a realm. Third step Dao, Foundation realm. His cultivation had reached the third step Dao Foundation realm. He was only 2 levels away from level 1 Dao Foundation realm. You broke through. Hai Qingqing was shocked to see that Yang Hongwu had gained such great benefits. Saber Intent Realm, Minor Success Realm. This was really unbelievable. After all, Yang Hongwu's cultivation hadn't even reached the Dao Pedestal Realm. He had already comprehended Minor Success Realm of Saber Intent at this cultivation level. This was definitely 1 in a million. Powerful. He was really too powerful and too heaven-defying. His luck was indescribable. In the Life-Death Pagoda, the so-called legacy test was like a nurturing and tempering of Yang Hongwu. Hai Qingqing had a hunch that even if while Wu Ying had obtained the Lotus Emperor's inheritance and the Sacred Lotus Ancestral Seal, he might not have gained more benefits than Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu was the one who had gained the most in the Lotus Secret Realm this time. Minor breakthrough. Yang Hongwu's mouth curved up into a smile. This is just a minor breakthrough. The corner of Hai Qingqing's mouth couldn't help but twitch. She was also a super genius and the first saintess of the Sea God's immortal mansion. Among the younger generation, there weren't many people who were more outstanding than her. However, Yang Hongwu was too heaven-defying and infuriating. Chapter 516. Fong, that's it. I wonder what's the next stage? Gao Qingqing looked at the portal and sighed. The first 2 checkpoints were filled with danger, but at least they passed through without any mishaps. What was the situation in the remaining checkpoints? What kind of danger would they encounter? It was worrying. No matter what, it was not an easy task to obtain the great emperor's inheritance. No one knows. Hua Wuying said, "Let's go." We'll know once we enter. Be careful. Hai Qingqing nodded. The four of them held hands and walked into the portal. In order to avoid being separated by the portal, the four of them held hands and entered together. A white light flashed, and everyone disappeared from where they were and appeared in another space. It was a huge arena. There were 3 people on the other side of the arena. They were none other than Lin Tianyong and the others. At this moment, Tai Yuan Wang, Lin Tianyong, and Hua Wuing were in a sorry state. They were no longer as arrogant and domineering as before. I didn't expect our opponents to be you guys. Lin Tianyong and the other 2 smiled when they saw Yang Hongwu and the others. Tai Yuan Wang, Tian Shinjiu, and Lin Tianyong were very powerful. Among the 4 of them, Yang Hongwu was the only one who could compete with them. That was Hai Qingqing. The others were nothing to worry about. In this way, there was no pressure to deal with them. As long as they won this battle, the great emperor's inheritance would be given to Tai Yuan Wang and the other 2. As for who it would be, there would still be a winner. However, their imagination was beautiful, but the reality was cruel. How could Yang Hongwu be so easy to deal with? Moreover, how could the great emperor's inheritance be so unfair? It was too simple, too easy. Of course, Yang Hongwu and the other 3 were still in the dark about the exact situation. They had never imagined that Tai Yuan Huang and the other 2 would actually be the first to leave the Thousand Sabers Mountain. This was indeed a surprise to Yang Hongwu. What should we do? It seems that our situation is not good. If the 4 of us fight with the 3 of them, we definitely won't win. Gao Qingqing looked at the situation and frowned. Among the 4 of them, the strongest one was Hai Qingqing. However, Hai Qingqing was not as strong as Tai Yuan Wang. She was only slightly stronger than Tian Shinjiu and Lin Tianyong. There's no rush. Yang Hongwu said, let's wait for the rules to appear. There's no need to rush at all. At this moment, a huge stone tablet appeared in the middle of the arena. On the stone tablet, there were 3 big words and 2 lines of words. Saint Lotus ranking. This is refining the ancestral seal, Hua Wuing whispered. Sister Wuing, are you saying that this giant stone tablet is the legendary Holy Lotus ancestral seal? Yang Hongwu asked in surprise. Yang Hongwu did not expect that this stone stele was actually the sacred Lotus ancestral seal. How do I obtain the sacred Lotus ancestral seal? You can think of a way to get it to recognize you as its master, Yang Hongwu said. Yang Hongwu did not have any thoughts about the sacred Lotus ancestral seal. He hoped that Hua Wuing could obtain the sacred Lotus ancestral seal and obtain the inheritance of the Lotus monarch. I don't know. Hua Wuing shook her head. The sacred Lotus ancestral seal is an emperor weapon. Emperor weapons have their own consciousness and will recognize their own masters. Only by obtaining the recognition of the sacred Lotus ancestral seal can one obtain the sacred Lotus ancestral seal. However, I don't know how to obtain the recognition of the sacred Lotus ancestral seal. Look at the words on the stone tablet. Gao Qingqing suddenly shouted. Yang Hongwu looked over and saw that the words on the stone tablet were changing. There were 2 big words. One was life, and the other was death. Arena of life and death. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. Arena of life and death. This was really troublesome. He did not expect this to happen. He was confident in dealing with one of them. Hai Qingqing was also confident in dealing with one of them. However, there was still one more. Even if Gao Qingqing and Hua Wuing teamed up, they would not be a match for it. What should he do now? Hai Qingqing, Lin Tianyong. The words on the stone tablet changed again. Hai Qingqing and Lin Tianyong's names appeared. As soon as the words appeared, Hai Qingqing and Lin Tianyong were sent up. This speed was too fast. Moreover, there was no room for them to choose. It was definitely disadvantageous for them. Hai Qingqing, just admit defeat. Your side has no chance of winning. The only one who can fight against us is you. The others simply don't have the ability to do so. At this time, Lin Tianyong, who was standing opposite Hai Qingqing, said, Admit defeat? Are you still dreaming? Hai Qingqing's eyes flashed coldly. I'm much stronger than you. You want me to admit defeat? Hai Qingqing was stronger than Lin Tianyong, but Lin Tianyong wanted her to admit defeat. Hai Qingqing laughed. The combined strength of the three of them was not bad. However, was she weaker than Yang Hongwu? Of course not. Yang Hongwu was very strong. Moreover, he had the spiritual cat puppet. The spiritual cat puppet was very powerful. Among the people present, there was only one person who could fight against it, and that was Tai Yuan Wang. If he won this round, Yang Hongwu would win another round. That would mean that he had won 2 rounds, and there would be no suspense. "You're much stronger than me?" Lin Tianyong squinted his eyes. "You're too confident. Do you really think that you're stronger than me just because you're the first saintess of Sea God Immortal Palace? Since you're not willing to admit defeat, then I'll have to kill you." Lin Tianyong then launched an attack. Ichi Sanqing. The 3 Lin Tianyongs attacked Hai Qingqing from 3 different directions. The strength of the 3 Lin Tianyongs was the same as the strength of the clones. Roar of the Sea God. Hai Qingqing opened her arms, and a terrifying strength condensed in her hands, forming a gigantic beast. That gigantic beast was an ancient gigantic beast, the overlord of the sea. It roared furiously, and immediately, the waves of the sea rose to the sky. The entire arena was submerged by the huge waves. However, Lin Tianyong wasn't weak either. Hai Qingqing's attacks were extremely powerful, but they weren't able to break through Lin Tianyong's defense. The 3 Lin Tianyong formed a triangle, blocking the surging power outside. Sea-splitting pearl. While the 2 of them were facing each other, Lin Tianyong threw out something. It was an azure pearl. This pearl grew bigger and instantly split apart the terrifying monstrous waves. Hai Qingqing turned pale with fright. Sea-splitting pearl was a top-grade immortal tool. The so-called immortal tool was a saint tool. It was only inferior to emperor tools. The sea-splitting pearl was a top-grade immortal artifact. It was slightly weaker than an emperor artifact, but its power was boundless. Especially in the ocean, the sea-splitting pearl, as its name suggested, was the bane of Hai Qingqing. Chapter 517. Domineering Yang Hongwu die for me. A sharp sword appeared in Lin Tianyong's hand and stabbed towards Hai Qingqing's heart. At this time, Hai Qingqing was stunned by the sea-splitting pearl. Seeing Lin Tianyong's attack, she was greatly shocked. Jade War Chariot. Hai Qingqing had no choice but to use one of her trump cards, the Jade War Chariot, that was both offensive and defensive. She entered the Jade War Chariot and controlled it to unleash a powerful attack. A ray of light shot towards Lin Tianyong like a cannonball. Boom! A loud explosion sounded. The entire arena exploded. Hai Qingqing's Jade War Chariot was blown apart. 2 of the 3 Lin Tianyongs were killed. Only his original body was left. 2 of the 3 pure ones died. It was a huge loss. However, Hai Qingqing no longer had the strength to fight back. She didn't think too much about it, and chose to surrender right away. Lin Tianyong wins. Words appeared on the stone tablet. The sacred lotus ancestral seal released a ray of light and restored Lin Tianyong's strength to its peak. Yang Hongwu swallowed his saliva when he saw this. Lin Tianyong's cultivation and injuries were restored. However, Hai Qingqing's injuries were not. She was only sent out. Gao Qingqing and Hua Wuying's faces sank. Hai Qingqing had lost. Who else could fight against them now? They could not even defeat Lin Tianyong. How could they deal with Tian Xinjiao and Tai Yuan Wang? This time they were in big trouble. What should they do? Should they give up? Even if they gave up, would they let the 4 of them go? Don't worry. Yang Hongwu said, "Sister Wuying, you have to believe in your feelings. You have the bloodline of the great emperor. If I'm not wrong, you have to activate the bloodline in your body if you want to obtain the true inheritance. Once you activate the bloodline of the great emperor, everything will be fine." Hua Wuying's bloodline was not fully activated. In other words, the power of the great emperor's bloodline was not fully activated. Once the power of the great emperor's bloodline was activated, the sacred lotus ancestral seal would not recognize its master and choose a stranger as its successor. What a joke. Moreover, the lotus great emperor was here. He must be watching everything. Words appeared on the sacred lotus ancestral seal. Yang Hongwu, Lin Tianyong. Before Yang Hongwu could finish speaking, he disappeared from where he stood and entered the arena. What should we do? I hope junior brother Yang is all right. He is very strong and has many trump cards. Gao Qingqing said. We have no other choice but to hope junior brother Yang can defeat them in Wuying's. Yang Hongwu had the psychic cat as his trump card. He hoped that the psychic cat could catch them off guard. That way, he would have a chance of winning. Lin Tianyong is strong, but junior brother Yang's psychic cat can restrain him. Junior brother Yang should have no problem dealing with Lin Tianyong. Even Tian Xinjiu is not junior brother Yang's opponent. Junior brother Yang's real enemy is Tai Yuan Huang. Tai Yuan Huang is probably stronger than we thought. Hai Qingqing said with a pale face. It's a pity that my Jade War Chariot is damaged. Otherwise, junior brother Yang would have a higher chance of winning if I gave it to him. On the arena, Yang Hongwu and Lin Tianyong stood facing each other. Yang Hongwu, you didn't expect that you would die here today, right? I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Now, you won't have the chance to regret it. Lin Tianyong looked at Yang Hongwu and said with a cold smile, Hai Qingqing was able to run away quickly, but you will definitely die. Kill me? Do you have the ability? You think too highly of yourself. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. He had cultivated the I Chi turning 3 pure ones before, so he knew the weakness of the I Chi turning 3 pure ones. On the surface, the I Chi turning 3 pure ones seemed to have no weakness, and its power was boundless. The three of them had the same strength and battle prowess, and their coordination was formidable. It was not as simple as 1 + 1. However, as long as he grasped the fatal weakness of the I Chi into 3 pure ones, it would be easy to deal with Lin Tianyong. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Die. Lin Tianyong moved. He unsheathed his long sword. The snow-white sword flickered with a dazzling light. Sword chi lingered around it, and dense killing intent. Swoosh! Sword chi swept out, and the sword light shrouded Yang Hongwu, leaving him no room to dodge. Die! Sword chi traversing 30,000 li. That terrifying sword chi seemed to be able to pierce through the heavens and earth. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light, and he clenched the true dragon blade in his hand. Your sword is too weak. It's flashy but useless. Yang Hongwu spat out a few words, and he waved the saber in his hand. It was a plain and simple move. However, it contained a terrifying killing intent. That was the essence of the saber Dao. Saber intent. Saber intent at the small success realm could destroy all attacks. Saber, invincible among kings. Saber, indomitable, killing without mercy. Kill, kill, kill. Shatter the heavens and earth. Kill the primordial divine demons, and destroy all obstacles. Sword chi was nothing in the face of saber intent. Crack! The sword chi was instantly shattered, and the terrifying saber intent appeared in front of Lin Tianyong in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Lin Tianyong's eyes widened, and he was terrified. He was confident that he could kill Yang Hongwu with his sword, but he had failed. He couldn't kill him, and he even shattered it easily. What kind of saber technique is this? What kind of strength is this? How is this possible? Absolutely impossible. Lin Tianyong couldn't believe his eyes, but it was the truth. Seeing the terrifying saber coming towards him, Lin Tianyong quickly performed his strongest cultivation technique. Chi into Trinity. 1 divided into 3. The strength of the 3 Lin Tianyong exploded, forming a huge shield to block the terrifying saber. Yang Hongwu sneered. The I Chi into 3 pure ones was indeed powerful, but it also had a fatal weakness. This weakness was very obvious before it was fully cultivated. Of course, if one's strength reached the level of a venerable, this weakness of the I Chi into 3 pure ones was no longer a weakness. I'll send you to see your Trinity ancestor. Yang Hongwu's saber intent didn't slash at the 3 of them, but at the void. The key was the chi of the 3 pure ones. As long as the chi of the 3 pure ones was cut into pieces, the 3 pure ones would be useless and lose its power. Not many people knew this secret. Moreover, ordinary people wouldn't be able to see it. Even if they could see it, they wouldn't be able to break it. However, Yang Hongwu was different. He had cultivated the one qi into 3 pure ones, the saber intent, the soul-refining scripture, and the yin-yang, soul-locking curse. Chapter 518. White Tiger Killing Technique, Kacha. With a crisp sound, the qi of the 3 pure ones was instantly shattered. At this moment, Lin Tianyong's 3 pure ones clone disappeared, replaced by his original body. Moreover, he was heavily injured. How did you know my weakness? Lin Tianyong shouted at Yang Hongwu. The 3 clear qi secret technique did have a weakness, but everyone's weakness was different. Moreover, other than himself, ordinary people could not see it. Didn't you say that I cultivated the 3 clear qi secret technique? I'll show you the 1 qi into 3 pure ones that I cultivate. With that, Yang Hongwu's figure flashed. Psychic Cat, Dragon Soul, and Yang Hongwu's original body. No, Yang Hongwu did not give him a chance to explain and launched a fierce attack. God-frightening finger. 1 finger frightens ghosts and gods. Dragon Soul swallows the sky. Psychic Cat, heaven-piercing claws. The heavily injured Lin Tianyong was not Yang Hongwu's opponent. He was hit by the finger and was sent flying. Then Psychic Cat grabbed his soul with its claws. As for the Dragon Soul, it opened its mouth and swallowed his soul in 1 gulp. His Yuan spirit was destroyed and his body collapsed. This was what it meant to die without a burial ground. There was no chance to live. He did not even have the chance to surrender. Great. I knew that junior brother Yang was strong. Gao Qingqing was very happy and clapped her hands. She even provoked Tai Yuan Huang and Tian Shunlong. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Did you see that? This is your end. Next, it's your turn. Tian Shunlong's mouth twitched. Although he was shocked just now, he did not lower his head. He looked at Gao Qingqing and said, "Who is Lin Tianyong? His strength is ordinary. Plus, he did not cultivate the 3 clear qi secret technique to perfection. That kid knows his weakness. Do you think that we are as useless as him? Wait for the next one. If it's my turn, I'll beat him to death." Tian Shunjiu Yang Hongwu. At this moment, Tian Shunjiu's name appeared on the steel. Tian Shunjiu was stunned. Haha, Tian Shunjiu, it's your turn to die. Let's see if you can still talk big. Junior brother Yang, don't be polite, kill him. Gao Qingqing shouted. Heavenly God had never thought that the second person would actually be him. However, he wasn't afraid. Although Yang Hongwu's battle prowess wasn't bad, his cultivation base wasn't high. He was only at the 3rd step of the Dao Foundation realm, and he already knew his trump card. The only thing that was strong was the cat puppet. Yang Hongwu, you're dead meat today. Tian Shunjiu looked at him and said coldly, "It's not too late for you to admit defeat. Otherwise, I'll beat you to death and won't give you a chance. It's not easy for you to cultivate to this level. I advise you to give up. You only have 1 life." Tian Shunjiu, you think too highly of yourself. Lin Tianyong said the same thing just now. Do you think you're stronger than Lin Tianyong? Yang Hongwu said coldly, your strength isn't too different from Lin Tianyong's. In fact, your battle prowess is slightly weaker than Lin Tianyong's. So, it won't be hard for me to kill you. You're courting death. Tian Shunjiu was furious. He pounced at Yang Hongwu like a ferocious tiger. As one of the 5 great holy sons of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, although he was ranked last, his strength couldn't be underestimated. To be able to become one of the 5 great holy sons, none of them were simple. Their reputations were well-deserved. Tiger Head Rush. The holy beast White Tiger ferociously charged. Its tyrannical strength and terrifying killing intent condensed into a solid form. It wasn't any weaker than Yang Hongwu's 10-direction killing fist. Tian Shunjiu had the White Tiger battle body. His strength was ferocious and tyrannical. His killing intent was like a sharp saber that cut through the enemy's aura. A cold light flashed in Yang Hongwu's eyes. White Tiger battle body. It was perfect for him to cultivate. He cultivated the 10-direction killing fist, but there was one move that he hadn't succeeded in cultivating. It was called the White Tiger slaughtering technique. The white tiger slaughtering technique was a forbidden technique in the 10-direction killing fist. It was extremely powerful. If one didn't have the slaughter god bloodline, there was no way to cultivate it. The slaughter god clans by family's guardian holy beast was rumored to be the white tiger holy beast. So, only the slaughter god clan could cultivate this last move. Yang Hongwu had tried many times, but he couldn't succeed. Now that Tian Xinjiu had the white tiger battle body, he could use him to cultivate the white tiger slaughtering technique. Yang Hongwu raised both his hands. Dense killing intent burst out. Numerous slaughter gods surrounded Yang Hongwu. White tiger slaughtering technique. The killing intent condensed and turned into a white tiger. This white tiger was even more tyrannical than Tian Xinjiu's tiger head. It had sharp claws and blade-like teeth. A murderous aura surrounded the tiger, followed by numerous slaughter gods and countless Asuras. The white tiger attacked, the slaughter god palace at the back, and the Asuras as support. How imperious was such an aura? How imperious! How terrifying! Kill! 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 As the word kill was uttered, it ferociously broke through Tian Xinjiu's attack and broke his defense. Bang, bang, bang. The wild force was like a giant chariot that crushed forward. Tian Xinjiu had no chance to resist, as he was brutally crushed. His body was like a kite with a broken string, flying out in an instant. That little bastard Yang Hongwu was so powerful. His fist art was so tyrannical and filled with a strong, murderous aura. It was able to restrain Tian Xinjiu's tiger head. How was it possible that it could restrain Tian Xinjiu's sacred flesh and battle flesh? Tian Xinjiu spat out a mouthful of blood. Tian Xinjiu was unwilling to accept this. However, there was nothing he could do. In this place, he seemed to be under the pressure of a special law. He couldn't use his full strength. After being pushed back, he was even more suppressed. At this moment, he finally understood why Lin Tianyong, who was as strong as him, couldn't resist after being pushed back. So this was the reason. Seeing Yang Hongwu rushing towards him with murderous intent, Tian Xinjiu knew that Yang Hongwu wanted to take his life. He opened his mouth, wanting to admit defeat. However, Yang Hongwu was faster than him. He didn't give him a chance to admit defeat. Yin Yang 3 revolutions, Yin Yang palm. In the void, one Yin and one Yang appeared. 2 giant palm prints, one in front and one behind, one high and one low. They resonated with each other and attacked Tian Xinjiu. The power of Yin and Yang intertwined, forming a huge pressure. This pressure made it impossible for Tian Xinjiu to open his mouth. How could he speak? Tian Xinjiu forcefully gathered his strength. He waved his hand and punched out. This punch contained all the strength in his body. Boom! The two forces collided with each other, creating a terrifying explosion. Yang Hongwu's palm print didn't show any mercy. It broke through Tian Xinjiu's fist and landed heavily on his chest. Crack! Tian Xinjiu's chest was shattered. His body sank deep into the ground. Bang, bang, bang. Punch after punch. Chapter 519. A powerful opponent, Tai Yuan Huang. It's your turn. Come up and die. Yang Hongwu pointed at Tai Yuan Huang and said arrogantly. It was as if Tai Yuan Huang was a dead man that he didn't put in his eyes. How dare you? Do you think that you're invincible just because you've killed 2 trash? Today, I'll let you know the true immensity of heaven and earth. After saying that, Tai Yuan Huang leaped into the air, breaking through the space and entering the arena directly. Yang Hongwu's face sank. This guy was really powerful. He actually broke through the defensive barrier of the arena. He wasn't simple. He was probably the strongest opponent that Yang Hongwu had ever met. Moreover, Yang Hongwu also knew that the reason why he could kill Tian Xinjiu and Lin Tianyong so easily was because the arena had a special restriction on them. They couldn't display their full strength. But Yang Hongwu could unleash 100% of his strength. No, it should be more than 100%. He could even unleash 200% or 300% of his strength. In this situation, he naturally had a huge advantage. However, Tai Yuan Huang had exceeded Yang Hongwu's expectations. However, Yang Hanwu was still confident that he could kill Tai Yuan Wang. He hadn't used his trump card yet. Once he used the battle spirit possession and activated the 9-dragon saint body, his strength would increase by several folds. Then, he would have confidence in dealing with Tai Yuan Wang. However, if he activated the 9-dragon saint body, he would be exposed. If Hai Qingqing knew about it, she might be exposed. Therefore, Yang Hanwu wouldn't fully activate the 9-dragon saint body unless he had no other choice. Of course, he couldn't use the Immortal Pagoda either. He could consider using the Yama's invitation. After all, not many people knew about the Yama's invitation. They're trash. You're also trash. To me, there's no difference between the two of you. You're all here to die. As Yang Hongwu spoke, he directly opened the battle spirit possession. His aura erupted from his body. From the 3rd step Dao platform realm, he rose to 1st level divine realm. 1st level divine realm. I've underestimated you. Tai Yuan Wang looked at Yang Hongwu's sudden rise and narrowed his eyes. No wonder Lin Tianyong and Lin Tianyong were easily killed by you. However, even if you're 1st level divine realm, you're still not my opponent. Tai Yuan Wang's aura burst out. 6th level divine realm. His cultivation was at the 6th level of the divine realm, which was 5 levels higher than Yang Hongwu's when he used the battle spirit possession. The difference between the 1st level of the divine realm and the 5th level of the divine realm was too great. Moreover, when Yang Hongwu used the battle spirit possession, there was a time limit. Without enough time, it would be too difficult to defeat Tai Yuan Huang. Hai Qingqing was worried. She knew that Tai Yuan Huang was strong, but she didn't expect him to be so strong. The most terrifying thing was that if Tai Yuan Huang used the Tai Xianfu's strongest secret technique, the Tai Spirit Explosion technique, his battle prowess would increase tremendously. The reason why the Tai Xianfu could become the strongest force in the ancient domain was because of the Tai Spirit Explosion technique. In the Tai Xianfu, every core disciple would cultivate the Tai Spirit Explosion technique. Those who didn't comprehend the Tai Spirit Explosion technique weren't qualified to become a core disciple. Since Tai Yuan Huang was one of the strongest core disciples, his comprehension of the Tai Spirit Explosion technique was definitely above them. Junior brother Yang, you have to be careful of his Tai Spirit Explosion technique. Hai Qingqing reminded Yang Hongwu when she remembered that Yang Hongwu ascended from the lower realm. You probably didn't know that the Tai Xianfu had such a powerful secret technique. So what if you know? It's your honor to die under the Tai Spirit Explosion technique. After saying that, Tai Yuan Wang's cultivation surged. His aura became violent, and his hair fluttered in the wind. That terrifying aura shocked Yang Hongwu. Divine Realm Level 6, Divine Realm Level 7, Divine Realm Level 8. It only stopped when he reached Divine Realm Level 8. Yang Hongwu groaned inwardly. Now, he was in trouble. He was afraid that he would have to reveal his trump card. 9-Dragon Saint Body, activate. Mysterious Dragon, 9 transformations. 5th transformation. Titan Art. Yama's invitation, go. Tai Yuan Wang had revealed all of his trump cards. The cultivation of Divine Realm Level 8 was much stronger than he thought. If Tai Yuan Huang was still a Divine Realm Level 6, he wouldn't need to reveal so many trump cards. However, he had no other choice. If he didn't reveal all of his trump cards, Yang Hongwu wasn't confident that he could defeat Tai Yuan Wang. 9 Dragons Saint Body, Yama's invitation. You actually have the 9 Dragons Saint Body in Yama's invitation. You really surprised me. 9 Dragons Saint Body, Demonic Dragon Body. I would like to see how powerful the Demonic Dragon Body is. As for Yama's invitation, TSK Tisk, it'll be mine after I kill you. After saying that, Tai Yuan Huang's terrifying aura burst out, forming a ferocious beast. Yang Hongwu had never seen such a beast before. However, this beast was extremely overbearing and ferocious. Its aura was more terrifying and overbearing than any battle physique transformation he had ever seen. The only thing that could be compared to it was the demonic hand that was suppressing his right hand. Go to hell. Immemorial heaven-devouring beast, devour the heavens and earth. The giant beast opened its mouth and formed a small black hole. The terrifying suction force sucked everything in the surroundings in a frenzy. The bricks and stones on the arena were lifted up one by one. Terrifying, extremely terrifying. Yang Hongwu was extremely shocked. The terrifying suction force made Yang Hongwu unable to stand still. It had to be known that he had activated the battle spirit possession and the 9 dragon saint body, as well as the profound dragon's 9 transformations. His strength had reached the pinnacle, and even with Yama's note and the true dragon armor protecting his body, he still wasn't able to resist the terrifying suction force. It's too powerful. It was as if the entire world was going to be devoured by that terrifying beast. No wonder Tai Yuan Huang was so confident and didn't put him in his eyes. He was so powerful that he could look down on everything. Ichi into Trinity. 9 heavens mysterious Een Tower come out. 9 dragons war saber, true dragon blade come out. After using Ichi into Trinity, clones appeared. Dragon soul clone and psychic cat clone. Each of them displayed a powerful attack secret technique. Jingshun finger. First finger frighten ghosts and gods. Second finger slay gods and demons. Third finger destroy heaven and earth. Heavenly Dipper, Thunder Formation, Rushing Thunder Hand. All of his trump cards were used. Terrifying forces collided, shaking the world. Chapter 520. Continuous breakthrough, so terrifying. Is he really a divine realm martial artist? Hai Qingqing was shocked when she saw the terrifying combat strength. She did not expect Yang Hongwu to have so many trump cards. Yama's note, 9th Heaven Mysterious Een Tower, Real Dragon Blade, 9 Dragons Combat Saber. All of these items could make people go crazy. Bang, bang, bang. After the terrifying explosion, Yang Hongwu and Tai Yuan Huang's figures appeared again. Yang Hongwu was gasping for breath. He had consumed a lot of energy just now. The powerful force had injured him. If it wasn't for the protection of a 9 heavens mysterious Een Tower, he would have lost his life. Tai Yuan Huang was not in a better state. 9th Heaven Mysterious Een Tower, Yama's note, 9 Dragons Combat Saber, Real Dragon Blade. All of these items were powerful equipment. They could erupt with terrifying power. The power of Jingxin Finger was terrifying. It could kill divine demons. Tai Yuan Huang wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at Yang Hongwu. You have many trump cards, but how many times can you use them? Enough to kill you. Yang Hongwu replied coldly. At this moment, Yang Hongwu took out a pill and swallowed it. Then he took out a spiritual stone and threw it into the arrayed disc. Then he took out a talisman. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile as he threw out one talisman after another. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The talismans turned into colorful lights and bombarded Tai Yuan Huang. I have talismans. These talismans were all 7th grade talismans. Yang Hongwu had spent a lot of effort to accumulate them. Even though he was a 7th grade talisman master, it was not easy for him to make so many 7th grade talismans. Ever since he arrived at the Heavenly Talisman Mountain, Yang Hongwu had become a grade 7 talisman master and could refine grade 7 talisman seals. All along, as long as he had the time, Yang Hongwu would refine talisman seal pills. These talismans had been accumulated over the past few days. The 7th grade talisman was very powerful. As a God Realm warrior and the holy son of the Tai Xianfu, Tai Yuan Huang had a lot of trump cards. Naturally, there was a way to block the attacks of these talismans. A protective shield enveloped him, blocking the attacks of the densely packed talismans. You're just relying on external items. Talisman technique is just a small Dao. Let's see how many talismans and pills you have. Tai Yuan Huang snorted coldly and swallowed a medicinal pill. His cultivation base continued to recover, but it was not as fast as Yang Hongwu. However, when Yang Hongwu used the battle spirit possession, he consumed a tremendous amount of energy. Not only did Yang Hongwu consume a great deal of energy, but Ing Xiaorui's consumption was even greater. I have plenty of talismans. As he spoke, Yang Hongwu took out another handful of talismans. One talisman after another attacked madly. 10 breaths. 100 breaths. As time passed, Yang Hongwu's talismans were endless. The 7th grade talismans were consumed, but there were still 6th grade talismans. The 6th grade talismans were consumed, but there were still 5th grade talismans. Tai Yuanwang's mouth twitched. He resisted the attacks of these talismans, which consumed a lot of energy. The 7th grade talismans were consumed, and the 6th grade talismans were also a great burden for him. The Tai spiritual explosion technique was powerful, but it was the same as Yang Hongwu's battle spirit possession. There was a limit to it. It was impossible to use it continuously. Seeing Tai Yuanwang's complexion change, Yang Hongwu knew that Tai Yuanwang's limit was approaching. But Yang Hongwu's own battle spirit possession time was about to come to an end. When he saw Tai Yuanwang, his expression became absent-minded and relaxed. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. The opportunity had come. Refining Soul Heart Sutra. 9 Transformation Yin-Yang Harmony Art. Yin-Yang 4 Transformation. Yin-Yang Soul Lock Spell. The Soul Attack Secret Technique was activated. Yin-Yang Soul Lock Spell instantly launched an attack. 1. The attack of the Yin-Yang Soul Lock Spell caused Tai Yuanwang's mind to stagnate, revealing a flaw in his defense. How could Yang Hongwu let go of such a good opportunity? A cold light flashed in his eyes. Jingshun Finger, 3rd Finger Destruction. The most powerful finger of the Jingshun Finger was launched immediately. All the power in his body was channeled into this earth-shattering finger. Then, a gigantic finger condensed in the void. The finger shuttled through the ancient desolate god realm, bringing with it a desolate and destructive aura. Rumble. The terrifying finger pierced through the void and landed heavily on Tai Yuanwang's body. That tyrannical and boundless destructive finger force blasted Tai Yuanwang off the stage. Bang! The entire arena collapsed, falling apart, turning into nothingness in an instant. Where the arena was, there was a huge hole. In the hole, there was a person lying there. It was none other than Tai Yuanwang. At this moment, Tai Yuanwang was no longer breathing. There was a fist-sized hole in his chest. Tai Yuanwang was dead. Yang Hongwu had also consumed a lot of energy. His energy had been drained dry. The state of battle spirit possession was removed instantly. Ing Xiaorui fell into a deep sleep. A ray of light appeared from the huge stone tablet and entered Yang Hongwu's body. Yang Hongwu's cultivation was restored instantly. Ing Xiaorui, who had fallen into a deep slumber, had also benefited greatly. Her cultivation base continued to rise, rising to another level from Divine Realm Level 1 to Divine Realm Level 2. It's restored. It's restored. After recovering to his peak state, Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised to find that his cultivation was still increasing. 4th step, Dao, Foundation Realm. 1st level of Dao Foundation Realm. In an instant, his cultivation had broken through 2 levels, reaching the 1st level of the Dao Pedestal Realm. This was a huge surprise. He had thought that it would take at least a year for him to break through to level 1 of the Dao Foundation Realm. But the Sacred Lotus Ancestral Seal had actually helped him break through without any side effects. The stage was repaired again. At this time, the protective shield was removed. The original arena changed and turned into a huge altar. The stone steel had also undergone a huge change. It had truly turned into a large seal, pure white and divine. There were lotus imprints on it, and it was filled with mysterious runes. It possessed a powerful aura and a divine power. It was an emperor artifact, the Sacred Lotus Ancestral Seal. The Sacred Lotus Ancestral Seal has appeared. Yang Hongwu looked at the seal in surprise. This was an emperor weapon, a real emperor weapon. Although Yang Hongwu didn't know if his Yama's letter, True Dragon Set, and 9 Heavens Mysterious Yin Tower were emperor weapons, the Sacred Lotus Ancestral Seal was a real emperor weapon. A figure appeared. It was the Lotus Emperor. He looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "Congratulations on winning. Emperor, you're qualified to receive my inheritance." The Lotus Emperor said to Yang Hongwu, "However, you're not the best candidate in my heart. However, your strength has gained my recognition. You can choose to receive my inheritance yourself or her." Chapter 521. The Dilemma. Let her inherit your inheritance. Yang Hongwu said without hesitation. Although the inheritance was precious, Yang Hongwu did not need it. On the contrary, Hua Wuying needed it more than him. You have to think carefully. This is my inheritance, the inheritance of a great emperor. There's another important reason, and that is your own situation. You have been cursed by the life and death nether curse. Among the great emperors, there are very few who can lift this curse. I have a way to lift your curse, and that is to obtain my inheritance and use the divine lotus ancestral seal as a guide to guide the life and death nether curse away. Only then can you lift the curse. Otherwise, there is no other way. The Lotus Emperor looked at Yang Hongwu and said. Hua Wuying and the others heard this too. Emperor, I don't want this inheritance anymore. Let junior brother Yang inherit it. Hua Wuying quickly said after hearing what the emperor had said. Hearing Hua Wuying's words, the Lotus Emperor nodded. All right, Yang Hongwu, are you ready? I'm going to carry out the inheritance. As he said this, he raised his right hand and spiritual energy gathered in his hand, emitting a rainbow-colored light. Yang Hongwu hesitated for a moment, then shook his head and said, Great Emperor, you don't have to. Give the inheritance to Sister Wuying. As for the life and death nether curse, I will find a way myself. As long as I continue to break through and improve, I will be able to lift the curse. I don't believe that I can't deal with a mere curse. If I can't even lift a curse like this, then what right do I have to become a great emperor? What right do I have to stand above the 9 heavens and become an expert at the peak? Very good. I was right about you. Although the life and death nether curse is powerful, it won't take your life. It will only affect your thoughts. If you're strong enough and your willpower is strong enough, you can resist it. If you could defeat the life and death nether curse, your strength will increase tremendously. Hearing Yang Hongwu's decision, the Lotus Emperor nodded in satisfaction. If it wasn't for the fact that Hua Wuying was more suitable for his inheritance, he would have given it to him. But, Yang Hongwu, you will be in danger. I don't need an inheritance to cultivate quickly. Before Hua Wuying could finish, Yang Hongwu interrupted her. Sister Wuying, you have to believe me. If I can't even deal with such a small curse, how can I stand at the peak of the ancient region? Don't forget that I have a special constitution. My path has always been different. In fact, I've always been walking on the edge of life and death. That's why I was able to grow so fast. In less than 2 years, I went from trash to Tao pedestal. In the end, Hua Wuying accepted the inheritance. Of course, it wasn't that the Lotus Emperor didn't give Yang Hongwu any benefits. Instead, he gave Yang Hongwu something. It was one of the items in the True Dragon set, the True Dragon Ring. This True Dragon Ring had the effect of concealing one's aura. It also had the effect of calming one's mind and expelling one's inner demons. This was definitely an item that would be of great help to Yang Hongwu. He just happened to need something like this to suppress his inner demons. Whether it was the life and death nether curse or the terrifying demonic hand sealed in his right hand, they all needed to be suppressed. This True Dragon Ring just happened to be able to solve this problem. He had used the 9-heaven arcane Eam Tower a few times, causing the demonic hand to become restless. The True Dragon Ring just happened to suppress it. At the same time, he wouldn't have such a huge restriction when using the 9-heaven arcane Eam Tower. As for Gao Qingqing and Hai Qingqing, they also received some benefits. Both of them had obtained a powerful immortal tool. Hai Qingqing had obtained a water-splitting immortal sword. It was rumored that the water-splitting immortal sword had belonged to a saint in the ancient times. It was incomparably powerful and could divide rivers and seas. Gao Qingqing's immortal item was a set of array discs. Gao Qingqing was a powerful array master. Array discs were the best for her. Moreover, it was an immortal item. This array discs were not inferior to Yang Hongwu's Heavenly Dipper lightning array. It was even stronger and had unlimited potential to be improved. How could Gao Qingqing not be overjoyed? Moreover, the 4 of them also received the treasures of Tai Yuan Wang and the other 2 who were killed by Yang Hongwu. There were some important things that couldn't be obtained. After killing them, their divine dwellings were destroyed. The treasures in their divine dwellings were scattered into the spatial turbulence. It wouldn't be easy to get them. However, Their storage rings were obtained by Yang Hongwu. Although the things in the storage rings weren't the most precious treasures they had, they were still extraordinary. Among them, spiritual stones, elixirs, ores, and so on were kept in the storage rings. For martial artists, true treasures, such as powerful immortal weapons, emperor weapons, and so on, were all placed in the divine abode to be nurtured. Just like Yang Hongwu. In fact, Yang Hongwu's true dragon armor, true dragon blade, and so on were all refined by him and kept in the divine dwellings. Only some elixirs, talismans, spiritual stones, and so on were kept in the storage rings. Let's see if there are any good things. Yang Hongwu grabbed Lin Tianyong's storage ring. Oh, it's the Qi into Trinity? Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. He hadn't expected that there would be such benefits. It turned out to be the secret technique of the Qi into Trinity. In the ancient desolate continent, he had obtained the secret technique of the Qi into Trinity after killing Lin Quan. Now, he had obtained another copy of it. Moreover, this copy of the secret technique of the Qi into Trinity was obviously more complete and more profound than the one he had obtained from killing Lin Quan. After all, the ancient domain was a level higher than the ancient desolate continent. They weren't on the same plane. Therefore, the secret technique of the Qi into Trinity in the ancient domain was naturally more comprehensive and advanced. The secret technique of the Qi into Trinity in the ancient desolate continent was only a simplified version. It was no wonder that Lin Tianyong had said that the Qi into Trinity he had cultivated had a huge hidden danger. Yang Hongwu naturally kept the secret technique of the Qi into Trinity without hesitation. Chapter 522. Being hunted. Let's see what Tai Yuan Wang has. After Yang Hongwu took the Qi into Trinity, he was not interested in the other things. He gave them to Gao Qingqing and asked them to distribute them. Lin Tianyong had such good things. What about Tai Yuan Huang, who was more powerful? Yang Hongwu was looking forward to it. Grabbing Tai Yuan Huang's storage ring, Mo Wuji used his spiritual force to remove the imprint that Tai Yuan Huang had placed on the storage ring and poured his spiritual force into it. Tai Yuan Huang's storage ring was much bigger than Lin Tianyong's. He was worthy of being the powerful holy son of Tai Xianfu. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. All the storage rings and bags he had were not as big as 1/100th of Tai Yuan Huang's storage ring. Tai Yuan Huang was really rich. The things inside were dazzling and dazzling. Wow, there are so many cores of savage beasts. Yang Hongwu's eyes widened as he studied them. These cores were like small hills. Moreover, their levels weren't low. There weren't any cores lower than level 6. All of them were above level 6. Most of them were level 7 cores. There were also some level 8 cores. There were even 2 level 9 cores. These are the really good things. LV9 cores could be used to drive puppets, which had great fighting strength. In fact, his psychic cat puppet doppelganger could also be powered by the cores of savage beasts. If it was powered by the cores of level 9 savage beasts, its combat capability would be even more terrifying. It would be able to contend with experts at the late stage of the divine realm, or even the peak of the divine realm. In this way, its fighting strength would be improved again. Hey, what's that? Yang Hongwu suddenly found a very special animal skin. Although this piece of animal skin looked ordinary, it was not even comparable to the animal skin of some level 5 savage beasts. This was really strange. In the storage ring, there were piles of savage beast cores. The weakest one was a class 6 savage beast core. However, there was a class 4 savage beast skin here. There was definitely something fishy going on. From the other things in the ring, it could be seen that Tai Yuan Huang didn't care about things with low value, and this animal skin was obviously one of them. Since Tai Yuan Huang had taken a fancy to it, it was obvious that this item was no ordinary item. Yang Hongwu took the animal skin in his hand and examined it carefully. Map, another map? Yang Hongwu was a little surprised. He had seen a lot of maps. Back then, he was able to enter the Lotus Mystery Realm because he had obtained a map. Moreover, he still had a treasure map with him. At the very least, it should be the Tomb of a Supremacy. He had obtained it in the lower realm's ancient desolate continent and had never had the time. Originally, He had planned to go Yuji's Yu family and bring her out. Then, he would search for the ruins recorded on the 3 maps and open the treasury. But now, there was another map. Ruins of the Ancient Shamans. Yang Hongwu was a little confused when he saw the words on the map. Yang Hongwu had never heard of this ancient shamans before. Even in Xiao's Hong City, there were no records of this ancient shamans. Ancient shamans. Of course, Yang Hongwu was not unfamiliar with this name. There were countless legends about ancient shamans on Earth. Was it related to this world? Yang Hongwu was not too sure about this. However, Yang Hongwu did not know, but it did not mean that others did not know. Gao Qingqing, Hua Wuying, and Hai Qingqing might know a little. Yang Hongwu took out the animal skin and said to Gao Qingqing and the others, "Have you heard of the ancient shamans?" Ancient shamans? Of course, I have heard of it. The ancient shamans were a branch of the human race in the ancient times. They lived in the 100,000 wild mountains. They believed in the ancient shamans. Their people were called the shamans. The shamans did not cultivate their primordial spirit. They only cultivated their bodies. Their bodies were unbelievably strong, even more terrifying than the strongest body refining techniques of the human race. Rumor has it that their ancient shamans were extremely powerful, able to fight against great emperors, or even stronger than great emperors. Hai Qingqing explained, "Shamans, ancient shamans, stronger than great emperors?" Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and said, "I found something in Tai Yuanhuang's storage ring. It's a map that recorded the ancient shaman's ruins. I'm not sure if this map is real, but if it is, then it should be very precious." "What did you say?" Gao Qingqing opened her eyes wide and said loudly, "Junior brother Yang, is what you said true? Quick, let me see the map." Even Hua Wuying and Hai Qingqing were shocked. A map of the ancient shaman's ruins. This was shocking. That was the ancient shaman's ruins. What kind of existence was the ancient shamans? They were comparable to great emperors. No, they were even stronger than great emperors. There was once a human tribe warrior who found the tomb of a great sorcerer. He obtained the sorcerer tribe's secret skill and the sorcerer tribe's body refining technique, which allowed him to become a super expert. He was said to be invincible below the great emperor realm. If it was the ancient shaman's ruins, then it would be incredible. Even great emperors would go crazy for it. However, if it was true, then it would not be easy to enter the ancient shaman's ruins to search for treasures. There were dangers lurking everywhere. If one's strength wasn't enough, then they would definitely die. Not to mention entering the ruins. Even entering the 100,000 wild mountains was a huge problem. The 100,000 wild mountains was as terrifying as the ancient desolate abyss. It was one of the most terrifying and dangerous forbidden areas in the ancient domain. It was even more terrifying than the ancient desolate abyss. After looking at the animal skin map, the 3 women frowned. "I don't know if this map is real or not. If it's real, then this map is too cheap. How could such precious information be recorded in the beast skin of a level 4 savage beast?" Hai Qingqing said, "But if it's not real, why would Tai Yuanhuang keep it in his storage ring? Moreover, it's important for safekeeping." Gao Qingqing said. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, "Whether it's real or not, let's not talk about it now. Even if this map is real, with our current strength, I'm afraid it's not enough. We've wasted a lot of time. It's time to go out. Otherwise, I'm afraid Qin Shue and the others are waiting anxiously." "Yes, we should go out too." Hai Qingqing nodded. "The great emperor's inheritance already has an owner. Moreover, we've obtained great benefits. If we stay here, we don't know what dangers we'll face." Soon, they left the land of inheritance and returned to the gate of providence. There, Hua Qinxue and the others were anxiously waiting. Of course, there were also other people, including the other disciples of the 4 immortal mansion. When she saw Yang Hongwu and the others coming out, Hua Qinxue was very happy. "You're out. It's good that you're out." Hua Qinxue welcomed them happily. "Sister Qinxue, we're out." Chapter 523. Eerie's sect being robbed as soon as they came out. These guys sure are arrogant. They're all wearing black, hiding their heads and tails. I wonder which faction they're from. They're arrogant, but they're not weak either. The others seemed to be threatened by them. You want my stuff? Do you have the ability to do so? Come and get it yourself if you have the guts. Yang Hongwu wasn't afraid of anyone at all. It was just that he couldn't reveal his trump cards here. But even if he didn't reveal his trump cards, his battle strength was still very strong. Moreover, he still had Yishui and Hai Qingqing. Kid, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. The leader said coldly. Otherwise, all of you will die. You're like a toad yawning. How arrogant. Yang Hongwu was amused. He's so arrogant. Let me kill him. Hai Qingqing was infuriated. She had been defeated by Lin Tianyong in the Gate of Providence, so she had been suppressing her anger. Now that she had come out, she was provoked again. After saying that, Hai Qingqing waved her sword, and the sword light transformed into a huge sea beast. It overturned the seas and rivers, and caused the sky to change color. It was Hai Qingqing's first time using the water-splitting immortal sword. It was indeed powerful and invincible. Whoosh! A pitchfork appeared in the hand of the man in black. The pitchfork was black and filled with ghostly qi. It was an evil spirit pitchfork. Ghostly qi filled the air, causing the temperature of the air to drop drastically. It made people feel cold and numb on their backs. They even let out miserable cries. The ghostly qi turned into evil spirits, bearing their fangs and claws at the giant beast. Boom! A series of explosions could be heard as the ghost qi exploded. The ferocious giant beast smashed the wraiths into pieces. The long sword stabbed into the body of the man in black. A sizzling sound could be heard. The wound was instantly corroded. That black-clothed man instantly touched the wound a few times, and a lump of black stuff was applied to the wound. Very good, you actually managed to injure me. He looked at Hai Qingqing coldly. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He was very strong. He had thought that he would be able to obtain the inheritance of the Lotus Grand Emperor. However, he had not thought that this woman would be so strong. Her sword seemed to be able to restrain him and cause him great injuries. This was most likely a treasure obtained from the Land of Legacy. If I were to snatch all of these treasures and offer them to his honor, then my status should be able to increase even more. At that time, his honor would be able to reward me with some treasures, and my strength would also be able to increase greatly. Let's go together. He didn't want to delay any longer. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to make it back in time. If the experts from the 4 major immortal mansions rushed over, he wouldn't be able to get what he wanted. All the men in black moved. Murderous intent surged, ghostly energy was dense, and the smell of blood was thick. Evil beasts appeared one after another. These evil beasts had ferocious and terrifying appearances. Sticky and stinky liquid constantly dripped from their bodies as they let out sharp and ear-piercing roars. Be careful, these are ghost cave beasts. Yishui saw these ugly creatures and warned loudly. Ghost cave beasts, what kind of savage beasts were these? Yang Hongwu had never heard of them, but Hai Qingqing's expression changed greatly. They're from the Ghost Cave sect? Hai Qingqing's expression changed greatly. Ghost Cave sect? Yang Hongwu asked. Yes, the Ghost Cave beasts are the unique pets of the Ghost Cave sect. They're very disgusting, but their fighting strength is also very terrifying. These Ghost Cave beasts can't be killed, and they can't be destroyed. Only the Buddhist sect's cultivation method and the power of divine fire can be effective against them. Yishui said, the Ghost Cave sect was rumored to have been destroyed 10,000 years ago. I didn't expect that they would reappear now. I'm afraid that the world will not be peaceful anymore. There will be another bloody storm. Although she was explaining, her hands are not slow. The zombie battle heavenly diagram appeared in Yishui's hand. Numerous drought demons flickered with red flames and crazily bombarded the Ghost Cave beasts. Although the drought demons were ferocious, the Ghost Cave beasts that were destroyed were constantly solidifying. They were indeed indestructible. Retreat, everyone retreat quickly. These Ghost Cave beasts can't be killed. Not only Yang Hongwu's group, Long Yun and the others were also in a tough battle. Everyone was huddling together. Originally, Long Yun, Tai Xianfu, and the people of Kunlun Immortal Manor wanted to ask Yang Hongwu about Tian Xinjiu, Tai Yuan Wang, Lin Tianyong, and the others. However, they did not have the time to do so now. Yang Hongwu frowned. He raised both of his hands and circulated the power of yin and yang. Yin and yang rotation, water, fire, lotus. The power of yin and yang condensed into two huge lotuses. The two lotuses fused together under his control. Yin and yang alternated, and it was filled with destructive power. Explode. Following Yang Hongwu's shout, the huge water fire lotus flew out. Boom! A terrifying loud sound was heard, and the whole ground shook. The majestic power surged toward the black-clothed men and the ghost cave beasts that were charging toward them like an avalanche. The black-clothed men had extraordinary strength, and they were able to withstand the terrifying attack. However, the ghost cave beasts were all swept up and sent flying. It's working! Yang Hongwu was overjoyed. However, he could only use such a powerful attack a few times. This was a huge problem. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. Retreat. Since they could not kill them, they could only retreat. This was not something shameful. You want to leave? You're dreaming. The leader said coldly, Since you know that we're from the Ghost Cave sect, why would we let you leave? With a wave of his hand, countless black-clothed men appeared in the surroundings. In total, there were several thousand of them, surrounding the entire passageway to the Lotus Secret Realm so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. You guys are really bold. At this moment, a powerful voice was heard. Yang Hongwu was overjoyed. However, the people from the Ghost Cave sect did not know that. The leader shouted, Who are you? Come out and hide. How dare you be so arrogant in my territory? This is the Lotus Secret Realm, the place of my inheritance. You guys barged in and tried to steal my inheritance. How dare you attack my inheritor? Lotus Emperor? How is that possible? Do you think that old ghost will come? Lotus Emperor said coldly. Even the old ghost of your Ghost Cave sect would not dare to be so arrogant in front of me. You guys are really bold. Impossible. You can't be Lotus Emperor. The leader said coldly. At most, you're just a strand of Lotus Emperor's primordial spirit. I have my ways to deal with you. Chapter 5:24. Nine-headed, soul-devouring python. As soon as the jar was opened, a plume of black smoke came out and turned into a huge snake. The snake was exactly the same as the one depicted on the jar. Nine-headed, soul-devouring python. The Lotus Emperor's face turned solemn. He had never thought that there would be such a creature here. Good stuff. At this moment, Shi Baoer's voice came from Yang Hongwu's spiritual abode. He said to Yang Hongwu in surprise, Quick, release your dragon soul. This nine-headed, soul-devouring python is a great tonic for your dragon soul. Will it work? Yang Hongwu looked at the huge, nine-headed, soul-devouring python. That fellow was so ferocious that even the Lotus Emperor had a solemn look on his face. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was still very worried. One must know that even the Lotus Emperor had a solemn look on his face. What level was the Lotus Emperor at? He was incomparably powerful and stood at the pinnacle of this world. Yet, even he was worried. This showed how terrifying and powerful this snake was. This was because Yang Hongwu couldn't help but worry. If something happened to his dragon soul, the damage to him would be enormous. In fact, the dragon soul was equivalent to Yang Hongwu's primordial spirit. It was just another primordial spirit that was closely related to him. Once the dragon soul was damaged, the original body would also be injured. Don't you trust me? Shi Baoer said in a low voice. If you were alone, I wouldn't have let you deal with a nine-headed, soul-devouring python. Your strength is indeed lacking. But isn't the Lotus Emperor beside you? Although he's just a wisp of consciousness, don't underestimate him. If the nine-headed, soul-devouring python didn't happen to be able to restrain souls, the power of this wisp of consciousness would be enough to kill the nine-headed, soul-devouring python countless times over. You mean you want me to take advantage of the situation? Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. As the saying goes, when the sandpiper and the clam fight, the fisherman benefits. Both of them were stronger than him. If both of them were injured, his dragon soul would be able to devour both of them. Wouldn't that be perfect? Perhaps his strength could even rise to the next level. However, if we were to think about it this way, it would be a little immoral. Furthermore, offending an emperor was no small matter. Are you courting death? Sure, Bauer said snappily. If you swallow the Lotus Emperor's spiritual consciousness, you will offend him. You are so weak. What good will it do you to offend him? What I meant was, who told you to take the opportunity to launch a sneak attack on a nine-headed soul-devouring python? Who told you to offend the emperor? For the sake of a great emperor's spiritual sense, it's not worth offending. I understand. In fact, Yang Hongwu was just joking. Who would be stupid enough to offend a great emperor? Moreover, this great emperor was on good terms with him. Your dragon soul should not act now. Take the nine-headed, soul-devouring python by surprise. That way, your strength should be able to rise to the next level, Scherbauer said. Scherbauer said, Okay, that's all I've said to you. You can handle the rest yourself. Wait, is there no way to get rid of these ghost cave beasts? Yang Hongwu asked as he looked at the densely packed ghost cave beasts that had gathered again. Integrate the pure yang fire into the thunder formation and form a thunder fire. It will cause great harm to these ghost cave beasts. With that, Scherbauer sank back into Yang Hongwu's spiritual abode and went silent. After finding a solution, Yang Hongwu said to Ishwar and the others, Protect me. I will set up the formation. With that, Yang Hongwu took out a handful of talismans. These talismans were made by Yang Hongwu, while Hua Wuying was receiving the inheritance. Yang Hongwu's strength had increased, and his method and speed of making talismans had improved greatly. Therefore, it was easier for him to make 7th-grade talismans. Coincidentally, Yang Hongwu had refined a lot of thunder talismans and fire talismans. These talismans had a very good suppressive effect on the ghost cave beasts. Although they might not be able to kill these ghost cave beasts, they could be very effective in blocking and obstructing them. All right, Ishwar and the others nodded. Everyone took out their talismans and looked at the densely packed ghost cave beasts rushing over. They crushed the talismans one by one, and lightning and fire dragons shot out. At this time, the thunder formation of the thunder formation appeared in Yang Hongwu's hand. Pieces of spirit stones were inserted into the formation plate, forming a huge thunder formation. Yang Hongwu suddenly had an idea. Since he was using thunder fire, then if he integrated the 9 heavens mystical fire formation into the thunder formation, wouldn't it become a new formation? He could directly pour in spiritual energy to support the formation. The 9 heavens thunder fire formation was a new formation. However, he didn't have much time to try it here. Yang Hongwu hesitated for a while. He first set up the thunder formation of the thunder formation, then tried to set up the 9 heavens mystical fire formation in the thunder formation of the thunder formation. However, the process of setting it up was unexpectedly difficult. Time after time, he failed. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and looked at the formation plate of the thunder formation of the thunder formation. He still wasn't good enough. If he could make a few mystical fire flags, it would be much easier. However, he couldn't do it now. He wasn't a blacksmith, so he couldn't make powerful mystical fire flags. Time was running out. Yang Hongwu looked over. The Lotus Emperor and the 9-headed soul-devouring python were already fighting. The Lotus Emperor's every move exuded a strong and holy aura. Lotuses bloomed one after another, and the power was shocking. The 9-headed soul-devouring python was also extremely domineering and ferocious. Each of its heads opened their mouths, and sharp fangs tore the lotus petals into pieces. The Lotus Emperor's aura had weakened, and he began to retreat. However, the 9-headed soul-devouring python was getting fiercer and more ferocious. Enter the formation. Yang Hongwu shouted. Everyone entered the array formation. The Lotus Grand Monarch also turned into a ray of light and entered the array formation. Seeing this, the 9-headed soul-devouring python gave chase and bolted over ferociously. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. Why did the Lotus Emperor join in the fun as well? Great. Yang Hongwu did not have the confidence that his formation could defend against that guy. Yang Hongwu, you want to set up the Thunder Fire formation, right? I have 9 mystical fire flags here. Use them to set up the formation. As he spoke, Yang Hongwu saw the Lotus Emperor tossing out 9 beams of light. The 9 beams of light landed in the hands of Yang Hongwu. They were the 9 mystical fire flags. The mystical fire flags were extremely precious items. They were definitely immortal weapons. Yang Hongwu had not expected the Lotus Emperor to have something as good as this. With these mystical fire flags, things would be much easier. Chapter 5:25. 9 Heavens Thunder-Fire Formation Merge. Yang Hongwu shouted. The 9 mysterious flame flags entered the formation and merged perfectly with the Heavenly Dipper Lightning Formation, forming a fusion formation. 9 Heavens Thunder-Fire Formation. As soon as the formation was activated, lightning and fire struck down, smashing countless ghost cave beasts to death. Good, good, good. Everyone cheered. They hadn't thought that Yang Hongwu's spirit formation would be so powerful. So many of these invincible ghost cave beasts had been killed in an instant. On the other side, the 9-headed soul-devouring python came again and fought with the Lotus Monarch. Their huge heads bit and tore at each other crazily, spitting out mouthfuls of stinky breath filled with strong corrosive power. Now's the chance. Yang Hongwu watched as the Lotus Emperor unleashed a powerful attack and injured the 9-headed soul-devouring python. At this moment, the 9-headed soul-devouring python was enraged. One of its heads was smashed apart, and blood splattered everywhere. It went even crazier as it attacked the Lotus Emperor without caring about anything else. How could Yang Hongwu let go of such a good opportunity? The Dragon Soul was released. The golden light of the Dragon Soul was restrained. Yang Hongwu would not be so stupid as to release his aura. Once it was detected, the chances of a sneak attack would be much lower. The Dragon Soul flew out and shuttled through the void. In the blink of an eye, it appeared beside the 9-headed soul-devouring python. At that moment, a bright light shone and a powerful aura was released. The power of the dragon was unparalleled, suppressing the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Bloodline suppression suppressed the power of the 9-headed soul-devouring python's bloodline. There was no way for it to use it. Coupled with the Lotus Grand Emperor's restraint, there was no way for it to spare any extra power to deal with Yang Hongwu's Dragon Soul. Dragon Soul devours the heavens. With a roar, the giant golden dragon opened its mouth and bit down fiercely, biting off one of the heads of the 9-headed soul-devouring python and swallowing it into its stomach. One after another, after a few breaths, the dragon soul devoured a few of the heads of the 9-headed soul-devouring python. Seeing this, the Lotus Grand Emperor was overjoyed. He knew about Yang Hongwu's Dragon Soul. Now that Yang Hongwu had made a move and successfully ambushed him, he was a huge help to him. In an instant, the situation of him being suppressed by the 9-headed soul-devouring python had been reversed to him suppressing the 9-headed soul-devouring python. He knew that Yang Hongwu's Dragon Soul could devour the 9-headed soul-devouring python. Moreover, it seemed that devouring the 9-headed soul-devouring python would bring great benefits to him. He shouted, "Yang Hongwu, I'll help you suppress this beast. You devour it." "All right." Yang Hongwu nodded. He also launched an attack. Battle Spirit Possession and Golden Dragon War Body were activated. Golden Dragon avatars appeared around his body. He grasped with his big hand, and a majestic power condensed in the void, forming a huge war saber. The huge war saber made a rumbling sound, and then slashed towards the last 2 heads of the 9-headed soul-devouring python. Gotcha! With a crisp sound, one of the last 2 heads of the 9-headed soul-devouring python was chopped off. The dragon soul opened its mouth and devoured it. Yang Hongwu and the Lotus Monarch joined forces to deal with the 9-headed soul-devouring python. "Die, you bastard!" The Lotus Monarch spat out a lotus flower, and a refined flying sword shot out. Swoosh! The lotus flower sword pierced through the void and stabbed into the 9-headed soul-devouring python's body. Immediately, a huge hole was made in the 9-headed soul-devouring python's body. Blood spurted out and burned in the air, making sizzling sounds. A disgusting stench filled the air. "My 9-headed soul-devouring python." The black-robed leader who was trapped in the nine heavens thunderfire array finally broke out of the array's shackles and walked out. When he saw the nine-headed soul-devouring python, 8 of its heads were smashed, and there was a huge hole in its body. It was on the verge of death, and it cried out in pain. With a wave of his hand, he tossed out the jar. From the mouth of the jar, evil spirits appeared one after another. These evil spirits were ferocious and violent, and each of them was filled with killing intent. They bared their long fangs, and their faces were ferocious. Wielding ghost sabers in their hands, they slashed towards Yang Hongwu and the Lotus Monarch. In addition, there were several evil spirits behind them. These evil spirits flew towards the nine-headed soul-devouring python quickly. They protected the nine-headed soul-devouring python by their side, wanting to escape with it. However, how could Yang Hongwu let it do as it wished? He let escape. This was such a good opportunity, and it would be too shameful if he let this beast escape. It would be a huge loss for him. After devouring a few heads, Yang Hongwu realized that his primordial spirit had improved once more. If he could devour all of them, he might be able to break through to another level and bring his cultivation state to the next level. Taking a deep breath, Yang Hongwu let out a strong aura, and the aura around him vibrated. Yellow clouds rumbled and billowed. Jingshun Finger, third finger destruction. Yang Hongwu executed the Jingshun Finger. In the void between the heavens and earth, a gigantic finger appeared. With a destructive force, it slammed out heavily. This finger was extremely powerful. The heavens and earth lost their colors, and the sun and moon lost their light. Even the gods and Buddhas were shocked and destroyed by this horrifying force. Those evil spirits had no way of defending against it. The moment they came into contact with this horrifying aura, they were turned into ashes instantly. Boom! With a loud sound, the gigantic finger pierced through the 7 inches of the nine-headed soul, devouring python's gigantic body. There was no more sound. Following that, the gigantic body exploded, turning into a thick mist. The mist gathered together and flew towards the jar in the hands of the man in black. At this moment, Yang Hongwu's dragon soul opened its mouth wide. A strong suction force burst out, forming a gigantic whirlpool. The whirlpool sucked in the mist firmly and swallowed it into the stomach of the dragon soul. After devouring the nine-headed soul-devouring python, the dragon soul turned into a golden light and entered between Yang Hongwu's eyebrows. Yang Hongwu could only feel boundless energy being channeled into him continuously. This energy was huge and pure, but it had a chilling aura. For Yang Hongwu, this was a good opportunity to suppress the pure yang energy in his body and prevent it from erupting in a short period of time. Yang Hongwu operated his skill to absorb and refine this energy. 1 breath, 2 breaths. A golden cloud formed around his body. Light shone brightly. After a dozen breaths, Yang Hongwu's aura skyrocketed, and his strength underwent a huge change. Boom! There was a muffled sound. Yang Hongwu's eyes suddenly opened. A golden light shot out like a sharp sword. 2nd level, Tao Pedestal Realm. Breakthrough. Yang Hongwu had broken through again. After several breakthroughs in the Gate of Fortune, he entered the Tao Pedestal Realm. Now, he had broken through again. Chapter 526. Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar. Damn bastards. All of you have to die. Seeing Yang Hongwu killing the nine-headed soul-devouring python, the black-robed leader was so angry that he stomped his feet and cursed. His aura exploded, and the jar in his hand floated up in a strange manner, spinning continuously. Streams of strange smoke were emitted from the jar. It formed a huge sorcerer character. Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar. It's the Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar, the Lotus Emperor said. Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar? Emperor, you said that the jar in that guy's hand is the Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar. What's the origin of this Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar? When Yang Hongwu saw the Lotus Emperor's shock, he was curious. The Heavenly Sorcerer's Jar was just a jar. However, from the name, it sounded powerful. Heavenly Sorcerer was definitely a powerful item. Of course, if he guessed correctly, This heavenly sorcerer's jar must be related to the sorcerer tribe. He happened to have obtained an item from the sorcerer tribe, the map of the ancient sorcerer's relic in the wildlands. If he could obtain this heavenly sorcerer jar, he might be able to obtain some information and help. However, it was not easy to obtain this heavenly sorcerer's jar. Of course, with the help of the Lotus Emperor, it would be much easier. The heavenly sorcerer's jar is a half-step to emperor weapon of the ancient sorcerer tribe. It is extremely powerful and can summon countless powerful sorcerer insects to fight for you. This 9-headed soul-devouring python is one of them. Those evil spirits and sorcerer souls are all summoned from the heavenly sorcerer's jar. It is said that this heavenly sorcerer's jar was destroyed by a powerful being when the sorcerer tribe and the human tribe were at war. I did not expect it to appear here, the Lotus Emperor said. Summon sorcerer insects? Is there a limit? When Yang Hongwu heard this, his eyes widened. If there was no limit, wouldn't he be invincible with this heavenly sorcerer's jar? Of course there are limitations. This heavenly witch jar is not that easy to control. Firstly, you must have the bloodline of the sorcerer tribe and be recognized by the heavenly sorcerer jar. Secondly, you must have a strong enough cultivation and spiritual power. If you don't have enough spiritual power to support it, you won't be able to summon many powerful sorcerer insects. The stronger you are, the stronger your spiritual power, and the more powerful the sorcerer insects you can summon. In ancient times, when a sorcerer tribe expert from the wilderness was fighting against a human expert, he summoned an emperor-level sorcerer insect. It was ferocious and could kill countless venerables and great saints within a breath. The Lotus Emperor said, however, this guy's sorcerer tribe bloodline shouldn't be strong, and his strength isn't strong either. This heavenly sorcerer jar shouldn't be controlled by him. Behind him, there's an even more powerful sorcerer, whose strength has probably reached the peak of the divine realm, or even surpassed it. As he spoke, the leader of the men in black had already summoned a powerful wizard worm. It was a huge scorpion. The scorpion's entire body was black and shiny. Its defense was astonishing, as if it was made of steel. Sharp pincers and shiny black stings. Its whole body exuded a savage and violent aura. It was a killing machine. Those big sharp pincers could cut a divine realm martial artist into 2 halves in one go. It rushed straight toward Yang Hongwu's formation. After summoning such a powerful wizard worm, the black-clothed leader's aura became weak. His body was on the verge of collapse, and his voice was not as deep and powerful as before. Kill them for me. He raised his hand and pointed at Yang Hongwu and the others as he shouted with difficulty. After receiving the order, the huge scorpion rushed toward Yang Hongwu at an even faster speed. Its aura was fierce and murderous. Wherever it went, there was a sizzling sound, and a black mark was corroded on the ground. What a beast! Yang Hongwu performed the Jingshan finger again. The Jingshan finger could frighten ghosts and gods, and make gods and demons retreat. As he pointed, a terrifying power gathered at the tip of his finger. It was as if an ancient and domineering power came from the ancient god domain. Rumble. The finger collided with the huge scorpion, and there was an earth-shattering sound. The huge scorpion was knocked into the ground. Smoke and dust billowed. After the dust dispersed, a black light shot toward Yang Hongwu's face. Yang Hongwu turned pale with fright. Dragon soaring in the 9 heavens. Yang Hongwu used his strongest movement technique and dodged the attack. The scorpion appeared again. Yang Hongwu's eyes widened. His powerful attack didn't even cause any damage to the scorpion. How could the scorpion's strength be so terrifying? Squeak! The huge scorpion was astonishingly fast. It rushed over again. Go! Lotus Emperor waved his hand and shot out a white light, which fell on the huge scorpion. The huge scorpion was fixed on the spot. Yang Hongwu heaved a sigh of relief. The wizard worm was really powerful. Yang Hongwu faintly felt that he could not deal with it. Even with Ishwarer and the others, they might not be able to resist the attack of the huge scorpion. Damn it. Seeing that his wizard worm was stopped again, the leader of the black-clothed men was furious. He spat out a mouthful of blood, which fell into the heavenly sorcerer pot. Damn it! I will not let you off easily. Lotus Emperor, what is yours belongs to the sorcerer tribe. It must belong to the sorcerer tribe. Your consciousness must die. Come out, Lord Heavenly Sorcerer. I will use my soul as a blood sacrifice. Come out. The leader of the black-clothed men made strange hand seals with both hands. He spat out another mouthful of blood, which fell into the heavenly sorcerer pot. Buzz! With a muffled sound, the black-clothed man's body exploded. Blood splattered everywhere, and a black shadow was sucked into the pot. Buzz! Buzz! The pot shook continuously as it was sucked in. Not long after, a human figure appeared. That human figure slowly condensed into a solid body. It was a ferocious-looking man with a long horn on his head. His body was pitch black, and he was about 9 feet tall. He held a huge axe in his hand. The axe was rusty, but it was filled with a murderous aura. Black smoke billowed around his body, spiraling into the air. This is the heavenly sorcerer soul. Lotus Emperor's face changed. This is not something you can deal with. I will lure this beast into the death zone of the life and death tower and send you out. As he spoke, the hands of Lotus Emperor glowed with white light. The light was so dazzling that it was hard to open one's eyes. Slash! The heavenly sorcerer soul opened his mouth and roared. The huge axe in his hand slashed towards Lotus Emperor. The power of the axe was terrifying, as if it was going to tear the world apart. It was as if Pangu had created the world. Chapter 5:27. A gruesome slaughter, life and death pagoda, power of life and death. The Lotus martial monarch yelled. A powerful force was channeled from the heavens and earth, forming 2 dragons, one black and one white. They intertwined and charged at the terrifying axe. Bang! The 2 forces collided, causing the ground to shake violently. The powerful force sent some of the weaker cultivators flying. At this moment, a teleportation gate appeared in front of them. Go in. Go to the teleportation gate. It can teleport you out. The Lotus martial monarch's voice could be heard. At this moment, the Lotus martial monarch was holding something in his hand. It was a long sword, and he charged at the heavenly oracle soul with a strong, murderous intent. Trying to escape? Not so easy. The heavenly oracle soul said. His body swayed, and another heavenly oracle soul appeared. This heavenly oracle soul was also holding a huge axe. With a swing of the axe, a white light shot out. In the blink of an eye, the teleportation gate was hit by the light. Boom! With a loud explosion, the teleportation gate was shattered. The teleportation formation was gone. Everyone's eyes widened. Some of the weaker cultivators cried out when they saw the teleportation formation being destroyed. I don't want to die. I'm still young. I'm a genius with unlimited potential. I haven't become a saint yet. I don't want to die here. Save me. Father, mother, save me. All of them cried for help. Shut up. Seeing them like this, Yang Hongwu felt a headache coming on. They were geniuses from the 4 great immortal mansions, the 7 great sects, and the 10 great clans. It was too embarrassing to see them like this. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to us like this? That's right. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, why would we be targeted by this terrifying demon? As long as we kill him and give him what he got, we'll be free. Yes, kill him. The crowd went crazy. They looked at Yang Hongwu and the others with bloodshot eyes. Senior brother, Tai Yuan Wang, and the others didn't come out, but they did. I'm afraid they were killed by him, a Tai Xianfu disciple said. Kill him and avenge senior brother Tai Yuan Wang. Avenge senior brother Lin. The disciples of the Kunlun Immortal Manor also shouted. Senior, we aren't on the same side as them. They are our enemies. How about I help you kill them? One of the cultivators asked the heavenly oracle soul. Hai Ching Ching, Gao Ching Ching, and the others were so angry that their noses almost crooked. Detestable. This was simply too detestable. To think that those people would actually blame the black-robed men and the celestial oracle soul formation on them. If it weren't for them, they would have died countless times already. They would have died in the mouths of those ghost cave beasts. How could they have survived until now? People's hearts were hard to fathom. These people were too shameless. Not only did they not know how to be grateful for saving their lives, they even repaid kindness with enmity. Yang Hongwu was also very unhappy. The heavenly oracle soul said, "All right, as long as you kill them all, I'll let you go." The soul of the heavenly oracle was no fool. As the soul of the heavenly oracle who had lived for countless years, how could it possibly not know what was going on? Internal strife was a huge advantage to him. If they killed each other, it would be much easier for him. He was more than happy to have such a thing happen. In his mind, everyone here had to die. If they killed each other first, it would save him a lot of trouble. Great, we can live. As long as we kill them, we'll be able to live. Everyone's eyes were flickering with madness. The strength of the heavenly oracle soul formation was simply too strong. His terrifying strength wasn't something that they could resist at all. Therefore, they had completely lost the will to resist. Even a great emperor wasn't a match for him, let alone them. However, Yang Hongwu and the others were different. Even though they were slightly stronger than them, they weren't as weak as the heavenly oracle soul formation. There was no way for them to resist at all. Furthermore, they had the advantage in numbers. If they all attacked together, they would be able to exhaust them to death. Now that there was a chance to live, everyone went crazy. They charged toward Yang Hongwu and the others, launching a barrage of attacks. There were swords, sabers, and spears. All kinds of battle constitution avatars and profound martial techniques were executed. Let's kill. Yishui had already summoned her zombie sky battle diagram. Powerful drought demon zombies rushed out and started a massacre. Blood splattered everywhere they went. Countless martial artists were torn apart by these terrifying zombies. Yang Hongwu didn't want to be outdone. He also released his Yama's Invitation, Dragon Soul, and Psychic Cat. Within the Yama's Invitation, there were countless skeletal generals. These skeletal generals had terrifying combat strength. They were like the Yama, able to kill crazily. As long as the Yama's Invitation was still there, they were immortal. What was even more terrifying was that Yang Hongwu's Dragon Soul devoured their battle constitution avatars and bloodlines, increasing his strength. Boom! Under the massacre of Yang Hongwu and the others, more than half of the hundreds of martial artists were killed in just a short while. The rest of the people were all shocked and frightened. Terrifying, too terrifying. Is he still human? Regret? But it was too late for regrets. They had already started. How could they stop now? Even if they stopped, would Yang Hongwu agree? Would the heavenly oracle soul agree? No, definitely not. If they fought, they would die. If they didn't fight, they would also die. They had no way out. Everyone went crazy. I'll die together with you. A martial artist couldn't bear the pressure and crazily stimulated his cultivation. His primordial spirit self-destructed. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. With the first, there was naturally a second. In a short while, another self-destructed. In the small space of the hall, blood flowed like a river. Many martial artists died. The atmosphere was very tragic. The true dragon ring on his hand transmitted a cool aura, making Yang Hongwu stop his actions and the massacre. Yang Hongwu had fallen into a frenzy just now. He kept killing and even forgot about everything, including himself. This made Yang Hongwu feel horrified. Bedevilment. This word flashed in his mind. He had just entered a state of bedevilment. He was probably affected by the life and death nether curse and the demonic hand that was sealed by his right hand. If such a situation happened a few more times, he was afraid that he would really fall into the demonic path. Chapter 528. Powerful heavenly oracle soul taking a deep breath, Yang Hongwu calmed himself down. It seemed that he had to suppress it in the future. Otherwise, if it really erupted, there would be no way to change it. At that time, it would be impossible to suppress it. He had to deal with the demon hand and the life and death nether curse as soon as possible. But how was he going to deal with the demon hand and the life and death nether curse? This was a huge problem. Are you still going to try? Yang Hongwu said coldly. You're so stubborn that you're colluding with the demon. You're courting death. Do you think that the demon will let you go even if you kill us? Naive, you're too naive. Haha, it's too late for you to understand now. At this moment, the heavenly oracle soul had already beaten the consciousness of the lotus monarch into a pulp. It was pushed back step by step and no longer had the strength to suppress it. Seeing this, young Hanwoo knew that things weren't going well. To think that the heavenly oracle soul would be so powerful. The nine-headed soul devouring Python from before was still manageable because it was the nemesis of the lotus monarch's consciousness. But the heavenly oracle soul was different. The reason why he could beat the lotus monarch so badly was because of the strength of the heavenly oracle soul. It was unbelievably powerful. After all, the lotus monarch wasn't the main body. It was just a remnant consciousness. This was troublesome. Yang Hanwoo looked at the heavenly oracle soul. Two heavenly oracle souls. One of them was enough to deal with the lotus monarch's consciousness. If the two of them worked together, they would definitely be able to defeat the lotus monarch easily. The lotus monarch was sent flying by the axe of the heavenly oracle soul. He landed beside Yang Hanwoo with a pale face. Yang Hanwoo could not help but laugh bitterly. This was a great emperor. All great emperors were extremely formidable existences. Back then, he could pierce through the void and kill Yang Hanwoo with just a single hand. If not for the Morning Soul Emperor, Yang Hanwoo would have died long ago. But right now, the Lotus Emperor was beaten to a pulp. For an emperor to end up in such a state, this was way too shameful. This heavenly oracle soul is simply too powerful. The Lotus Grand Emperor's voice was a little weak. My original body is injured, and it's in a place far too far away from this dimension. There's no way I can borrow the power of my original body. This strand of my consciousness has been waiting here for tens of thousands of years. The consumption is too great. If it was 10 years ago, I could have easily dealt with this guy. But now I can't. Great Emperor, even great emperors will be killed by me. The two heavenly oracle souls merged together. With the axe on his back, he pointed at Yang Hanwoo and Lotus Emperor and said coldly, "Surrender now, and I can leave your corpses intact. If you still want to fight, I will destroy your souls." It's just a mere heavenly oracle soul. If not for my exhaustion and the fact that my main body is in the distant galaxy, a mere heavenly oracle soul wouldn't be a threat at all. The Lotus Monarch's mouth twitched, and his voice was filled with anger. To think that a great emperor will be looked down on by a mere heavenly oracle soul. How embarrassing. Yang Hanwoo, I'll give you this bit of energy. I hope that you can break through to the next level. As for this heavenly oracle soul, I will use the last of my energy to seal it. However, I can only seal it for 10 breaths. I hope that you can escape from here during this time. The Lotus Monarch said to Yang Hanwoo, "You can come and take this life-death tower when you have sufficient strength. At that time, you can destroy this heavenly oracle soul completely." After saying that, the Lotus Monarch flicked his finger and a mysterious rune appeared in the void. This rune emitted an intense light, and the entire space was covered by this intense light. The light from the runes intertwined, forming a sealing array. This sealing array was formed, and the two heavenly oracle souls were trapped within it. Life-death dual demon sealing array. Seal. As the Lotus Monarch spat out the words, powerful energy intertwined to form a huge word, seal. This huge formation sealed the two heavenly oracle souls within it. You want to seal me? This bit of energy is far from enough. As the heavenly oracle soul spoke, the two heavenly oracle souls fused together, and they turned into a single person. The giant axe in his hand was raised high, and the sharp edge of the axe shone with a dazzling light. Pangu splitting the heavens. With a furious roar, the figure of the heavenly oracle soul expanded, and a huge illusory figure appeared in the void. It was a tall and mighty figure of an ancient god. It was the illusory figure of Pangu. Pangu splitting the heavens and earth. Boom! With a loud explosion, the formation was shattered. Before the Lotus Monarch could teleport Yang Hanwoo and the others out, he suffered a huge backlash. His consciousness began to fade away. No way. Pangu is an ancient great god, and his strength is boundless. He once created the universe, and created a universal civilization. Even my true body is no match for him. That is an existence that surpasses the great emperor. Even if it is just a shadow, its strength is still not to be underestimated. The witch tribe is rumored to be the descendants of the great god Pangu. I wanted to seal this heavenly sorcerer soul for a few breaths of time and send you all out, but it seems like that won't work. After saying that, the Lotus Emperor's body turned illusory, following which he turned into a ray of light and entered Yang Hongwu's body, turning into pure energy that fused with his primordial spirit. Yang Hongwu's body trembled as some information appeared in his mind. With a thought, he established a connection with the life and death tower. I can't help you. It's up to you now. I hope you can escape from the clutches of this heavenly oracle soul. The last words of the Lotus Monarch appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. The Lotus Monarch had handed over the control of the life and death tower to Yang Hongwu. If he wanted to truly control the life and death tower, he would have to gain the recognition of the life and death tower's weapon spirit and have sufficient strength. The current Yang Hongwu was far from enough. It was impossible for him to activate the life and death tower to fight against the enemy. Moreover, there was another reason. Yang Hongwu couldn't even refine the life and death tower. So how could he activate the power of the life and death tower? Moreover, there was another important reason. This heavenly oracle soul was too powerful. Even if Yang Hongwu could control the life and death tower and release the power of the life and death tower, it wasn't enough to deal with this heavenly oracle soul. Die! The heavenly oracle soul spat out a single word, and a huge axe chopped towards Yang Hongwu. Before Yang Hongwu could react, Ishwarer and the others were shocked. Be careful. Chapter 529. The power of a grand Magiswa Wuing and the other girls closed their eyes. They couldn't bear to watch. The gap between Yang Hongwu's strength and the heavenly oracle soul was too big. The heavenly oracle soul was an existence that even the Lotus Grand Emperor couldn't resist. How could Yang Hongwu block such a terrifying attack? Would Yang Hongwu still be able to survive if this axe fell? No one was optimistic about it. Even Heavenly Sorcerer Han was confident that this brat would be dead for sure. When the axe was about to hit Yang Hongwu's head, a bright light suddenly burst out, forming a huge defensive barrier that blocked the axe. Impossible, the heavenly oracle's soul yelled. He couldn't believe that his attack had been blocked. How could this young man block his attack? Even an emperor weapon couldn't block it. Hua Wuying and the others were overjoyed. Miracle, this was definitely a miracle. They didn't expect Yang Hongwu to block such a terrifying attack. Could it be that the Lotus Grand Emperor helped him block such a terrifying attack? Shocked, everyone was shocked. What kind of treasure was it? It was so powerful that it could block such a terrifying attack. A person with great fortune, a child of fortune. Hai Qingqing thought of this phrase. This was a person born with the heaven's fortune. He wouldn't die. Even though there would be countless dangers, he would always be able to overcome them and wouldn't truly die. Those who went against him and became his enemies wouldn't be able to survive. They wouldn't have a good ending. I'll kill you. The heavenly oracle soul roared and slashed down with his axe again. This time, the power was even more shocking and powerful. The terrifying power shattered the ground in front of him. How terrifying and overbearing was this power? What could block it? Was this the power of a heavenly oracle? In this world, in this ancient domain, there was actually such a terrifying power. This power shouldn't exist in ancient domain. Would Yang Hongwu be able to withstand it this time? Everyone was worried when they saw this terrifying attack. In fact, before this, Yang Hongwu also thought that he was going to die. That terrifying aura was locked on by that terrifying axe. There was no way for him to dodge at all. He didn't even have the ability to dodge. He could only watch as that terrifying axe chopped down on his head. However, to Yang Hongwu's surprise, something changed in his storage ring. It was activated. A huge and strange energy burst out, forming a huge shield that blocked the terrifying attack. It was the Grade 4B skin that he had obtained from Tai Yuanhuang's storage ring. It was the map of the ancient sorcerer's secret domain. Yang Hongwu finally understood that the map wasn't as simple as it seemed. It was definitely not a grade 4 Savage Beast hide map. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to withstand the soul attack of a heavenly oracle. Boom! The huge axe once again chopped down on Yang Hongwu's body. An array of light lit up. Bang! The light reflected the attack, and the terrifying recoil sent the axe flying. The heavenly oracle soul was also sent flying, crashing into the wall. There was a deep hole in the wall. However, this didn't do much damage to the heavenly oracle soul. He crawled out of the hole and looked at Yang Hongwu in shock. You? How can you have the power of a great sorcerer? You're a human. You don't have the bloodline of a great sorcerer. How can you have the power of a great sorcerer? The heavenly oracle soul shouted at Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. Was this the power of a great sorcerer? He hadn't expected that this map would contain the power of a great sorcerer. No wonder it could block the heavenly oracle soul's attack. A great sorcerer was a higher existence than a heavenly sorcerer. 100 or even 10,000 heavenly sorcerers wouldn't be a match for a great sorcerer. The difference in strength was huge. The suppression of bloodline was also huge. In front of a great sorcerer, a heavenly sorcerer wouldn't be able to resist at all. This was similar to the suppression of dragon's bloodline. If the difference in bloodline was too great, a low-grade dragon wouldn't have the courage to resist a high-grade dragon, even if the other party's strength was 1 or 2 levels higher than a high-grade dragon. The current situation was like this. Yang Hongwu's strength was much weaker than the heavenly oracle soul, but Yang Hongwu had the map with him. The map contained the power of a great sorcerer. This power of a great sorcerer could suppress the heavenly oracle soul's bloodline power and suppress his heavenly oracle soul's power. The sorcerer race was divided into ordinary sorcerer race, heavenly sorcerer, great sorcerer, and ancestral sorcerer. Each level was further divided into 9 ranks. Ordinary sorcerer race from rank 1 to rank 9 were equivalent to the sorcerer race before the venerable realm. Heavenly sorcerer race was equivalent to the venerable realm. Great sorcerer race was equivalent to a saint or great saint. Of course, ancestral sorcerer race was equivalent to a great emperor. Among the ancestral sorcerer race, there were strong and weak ones. They were equivalent to the great emperors of ancient times. Compared to the current great emperors, ancestral sorcerer race was much stronger. The heavenly oracle soul in front of him was from the sorcerer race in the heavenly sorcerer jar. Its strength was terrifying, and it had reached the level of a saint. Just like the genius warriors among the ordinary human warriors, no, it should be the super genius warriors. This kind of warrior could challenge those of a higher level. For example, Yang Hongwu's strength. Although he was only at the Tao pedestal realm, he could challenge a divine realm expert. Most of the divine realm experts were no match for him. The creator of the heavenly sorcerer jar was terrifyingly strong. The heavenly oracle soul had been cultivated and improved by the heavenly sorcerer jar, and it had reached an incredible level. It was equivalent to a half-step saint. It was invincible among the venerables. Therefore, he could defeat a strand of the great emperor's divine thought. Although the great emperor was powerful, the Lotus Emperor was only a strand of divine thought. Moreover, it had been exhausted for so many years. Yang Hongwu took out the map in his right hand and poured a surge of energy into it. At this moment, the map shone brightly and turned into a powerful war map. Xing Tian punishing heaven. This is the war map of the great sorcerer Xing Tian. You're just a human. How did you get it and master its power? When the heavenly oracle soul saw the map in Yang Hongwu's hand, it was shocked to the extreme and shouted loudly. For a heavenly sorcerer, it was clear what the great sorcerer Xing Tian meant and what the war map meant. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.